KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. A court in New Mexico is ordering Meta to pay up again.
In a landmark ruling, a New Mexico judge has ordered Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, to pay $567 million after the company was found liable for helping fuel the state's youth mental health crisis. That's in addition to the $375 million a jury ordered Meta to pay earlier in the case, bringing the total to nearly $1 billion.
ABC's Sophie Flay, Meta says it plans to appeal the case. Bagged lettuce is once again safe to eat, according to Michigan health authorities. They say the products tainted with cyclosporiasis are likely no longer available. Thousands of people have gotten sick across 15 states from that lettuce that's been linked to Taylor Farms. And economists are expecting 83,000 jobs to have been added in the month of July. We'll get the official number later this morning from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is ABC News. The debate over flock cameras continues. Lawmakers in Connecticut are considering a moratorium on those automated license plate readers, which scan plates, logging the vehicle time and location in a searchable database. Democratic State Senator Bob Duff says he wants to pause the installation of more cameras to assess how far the technology has spread in Connecticut, citing privacy concerns.
The issue is that just continue to keep proliferating, and they keep springing up like dandelions in the spring.
Flock CEO says the devices help solve serious crimes and protect communities. Louisiana health officials now say there have been 9 reported cases of flesh-eating bacteria and 5 deaths. Normally there's about 7 cases and 1 death by this point in the year. The state's health department says all 9 cases were associated with wounds exposed to seawater and that all patients had underlying health conditions. I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
It is 6:02, and you're listening to Total Information AM. It's cloudy and 69 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Brian Feldman. Our top story, 2 Alton men charged yesterday for child sexual abuse. 56-year-old Terry Davis and 53-year-old Andrew Westbrook charged with 6 counts of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child. Comes after Alton police found Davis, a registered sex offender, alone in a home with an 11-year-old child in June. Both men taken into custody August 4th and being held until their hearings.
Also in the news, that massive geyser that shot into the air along 44 in Valley Park during the afternoon drive home yesterday. That broken water main between 141 and Bowles flooded the highway and shut down eastbound lanes. Roger Brand was watching it on the traffic cameras.
This was a huge water main break right alongside the highway on eastbound 44, just a little east of the Merritt's pedestrian overpass, and this geyser got big. It eventually got above the top of the pedestrian overpass, so probably a good 20-plus feet in the air, and later on you started seeing the water becoming muddied as it flooded across the highway as it was taking some of the surrounding soil with it.
Utility crews managed to turn off the water around 5:30 to let the traffic trickle through.
A pair of parking garages, which many say kill the street vibe downtown, could soon see big changes.
The new owners of the Keener Plaza parking garages say they'll take a patient approach to revitalizing the structures. Backed by local charitable organizations instead of private developers, the nonprofit Arch to Park Equity Fund plans to use parking revenues to update the building facades and to bring new restaurants into the 80% vacant storefront spaces. CEO Dustin Allison says that nonprofit model changes their entire timeline.
That allows us to take kind of a longer-term view towards investments we want to make in the garage. We don't have to focus in on kind of having a short-term, make a profit now, send that money back to our investors approach that others might have to take.
He says keeping profits local allows them to invest directly into improvements, including deep cleaning, security upgrades, and long-term facade changes so that the garages can better match the vibe of Gateway Arch National Park and Ballpark Village. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
After an AI-generated campaign ad included a deep fake of him, one area politician is now calling for regulations.
St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman and candidate Bill Eigel were subjects of an AI-generated ad that showed a fake conversation between the two of them. Now, Ellman, Tuesday night's winner, believes AI in political advertising needs guardrails, preferably by lawmakers or the Ethics Committee.
Nothing happens in the legislatures or in Congress. The courts will end up having to deal with this, and they will probably establish some limits on how far you can go.
Ellman believes AI deepfakes are a slippery slope and questions what will happen when someone creates an ad that falsely shows a candidate doing something unethical or illegal. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
One of the more interesting trends from Missouri's primary election involved voters who skipped the partisan races altogether. Secretary of State Denny Hoskins says a sizable number of Missourians requested nonpartisan ballots focused only on the statewide constitutional amendments.
Some of our polling locations throughout the state did run out of those nonpartisan ballots and were immediately replaced by those local election authorities who brought in additional copies.
Hoskins tells MissouriNet turnout reached about 33% statewide, with roughly 1.4 million Missourians casting ballots.
First District Congressman Wesley Bell won his primary Tuesday against Cori Bush. On KMOX's Chris and Amy, he was asked about Democratic Socialists and about Democrats being unhappy with the party in general. He says there are Republicans unhappy with their own party as well.
So I think that I think we need to get away from focusing too much on the label and start focusing on the work and the work that we need to do to not only move this region forward, but move this country forward.
Bell says politicians need to be working on things that matter to people, like affording groceries, gas, and health care.
Missouri now included in the list of states impacted by cyclosporiasis. Cases of people impacted by the parasitic illness has reached almost 1,100. That's up from about 43 cases in mid-July. The recalled Taylor Farms lettuce came to Missouri through Walmart stores, Taco Bell, and food service distributors.
Missouri and Illinois health authorities also tracking cases in a nationwide salmonella outbreak that is linked to jalapenos. More than 300 people across 20 states have fallen ill, leading to Chipotle and Qdoba dropping those peppers.
Einstein Brothers Bagels opening its 7th St. Louis area location in Creve Coeur, just days after parent company Panera Brands announced plans to move its headquarters from St. Louis to Boston. The new Olive Bakery, part of an aggressive push to open 300 new locations nationwide by 2030, with a heavy focus on Midwest expansion.
The Friends of St. Charles Library Book Fair is back, running today through Sunday. Visitors can shop for more than 250,000 books. They start at just $1 a piece. The book fair is held at the Family Arena in St. Charles and open to the public starting today and tomorrow from noon to 9, Sunday from 9 to 6.
Traffic and weather next. It's 6:07.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Cardinals' conversation doesn't end when the game does. Watch the Gas House Game, Redbird Rush Hour, Sports Open Line, and sports on a Sunday morning whenever and wherever you want. Plus, exclusive conversations with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol, president of baseball operations Chaim Bloom, players, broadcasters, and baseball insiders. Subscribe today to the KMOX Sports YouTube channel because Cardinals fans deserve a front row seat. This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterey, along with Brian Feldman and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it is quiet out there to start off our Friday morning so far, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. No delays even in the construction zones. I mentioned overnight road work picked up out there around Forestell on Highway 70. We do want to give you a heads up. They are going to be doing some overnight road work. They're going to have it down to one lane at Forestell, both directions on Highway 70, beginning tonight at 7 p.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow night. So it's not quite a full weekend restriction, but it's a solid, basically 23 hours of restrictions. It'll be one lane each direction on 70 at Forestell, beginning 7 tonight until 6 p.m. tomorrow night. So plan accordingly if you normally travel through that area at that time, or maybe if you're headed to the lake for the weekend or whatever you may be doing, that will impact your travels. Well, like I said, right now, all the road work's been picked up and it looks good there, as it does everywhere else so far for you this morning. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family-operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
And sun for today. It'll be humid and it's going to warm up. We're back to near 90 with a thunderstorm in parts of the area. We'll stay humid tonight, partly cloudy, low 71, then partly sunny, very warm and humid, high 90 tomorrow. Even hotter for Sunday. Sun and some clouds with a high of 95. It'll feel like it's over 100. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have partly cloudy skies and 70 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Cardinals back home after a series win against the Yankees. Sports is coming up.
It is 6:12, and thousands of dead carp spotted in the Mississippi River starting in late July.
It's hard to guess the number affected. So far, we have reliable reports primarily from St. Charles County, where there's a lot up the river. By the time you get to the Hannibal riverfront, there's a handful of dead fish, which is still more than normal.
Matt Combs with the Missouri Department of Conservation says only invasive carp are dying and that this happens once a year, just usually on a much smaller scale. He says recent spawnings combined with high temperatures and disease have likely caused the large die-off.
As far as if the water temperatures don't cool, could continue clear into September.
Combs says recent reports indicate the carp may be dying in the Missouri River near Glasgow as well.
In the meantime, the dead fish kicking up quite a stench. Grafton Mayor Mike Morrow tells the Post-Dispatch local ferry operators have resorted to rubbing Vicks Vapor Rub under their noses to overcome the overwhelming dead fish smell. Dan Zarlinga with the Department of Conservation says it's an opportunity for birds, predators, and other scavengers who get an extra buffet.
Work quickly, predators. A federal judge is scolding the owners of Fox 2 and Channel 11 for trying to take over the board at KSDK Channel 5. Nexstar bought Tegna, Channel 5's parent company, earlier this year, but a court ordered them to keep the operations completely separate while a bipartisan antitrust lawsuit plays out. The Desk.net reports that a judge ruled yesterday that putting Nexstar executives on Channel 5's board violates that order. It keeps KSDK an independent competitor here in St. Louis for now.
Top-tier ratings, keeping the Blues from following other NHL teams to free TV. Franchises in markets like Utah and Seattle moved to all over-the-air broadcasts. But the Blues, who have been ranked in the top 5 for local TV ratings for 13 straight years, tell the Business Journal leaving pay TV would leave too much money on the table. The team plans to announce a hybrid cable and streaming model ahead of September's preseason.
A legendary locker room vow took center stage on the Senate floor as Senator Eric Schmidt passed a resolution recognizing Mizzou's 1960 claim to the national title. Following a 39-0 blowout loss to Oklahoma in 1958, Tigers head coach Dan Devine addressed a room of defeated players, knowing many seniors would never get revenge.
Senator Eric Schmidt highlighted how that post-game speech set the tone for Mizzou's undefeated 1960 season.
But Devine looked at the younger men and made a promise. 2 years from that day, Missouri would return to Norman, and Missouri would win. That was no small pledge. Oklahoma ruled the conference at that time. The Sooners hadn't lost a conference game at home since 1942. Norman was where the soaring dreams of visiting teams came crashing down to reality. But a promise had been made by Coach Devine.
The Tigers went on to blow out Oklahoma 41-19, led by running back Norris Stevenson, who rushed for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Now, KMOX Sports from the St. Luke's Hospital Sports Desk. St. Luke's, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital.
Well, the Cardinals played 20 consecutive games since the All-Star break and, well, frankly, didn't fare so well. The Redbirds went 7-13 in that long stretch, but wrapped it up with a series win against the Yankees in New York. The offense was really good with a 5-homer, 13-run game Monday. And after dropping Tuesday's game, they bounced back with a 3-1 win Wednesday night, thanks to a timely hit from J.J. Weatherholt.
There's a swing and a fly ball center field. That sends Grisham back. Grisham is back at the track, and the ball's off the wall. The Cardinals are going to get 2 runs out of the double by Weatherholt. That kept carrying and carrying over the head of Trent Grisham. And Weatherholt drives in, runs 42 and 43, 2-0 Cardinals with 2 outs in the 5th.
Of course, that's the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney. That's our cut of the game. It is sponsored by the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Tonight, Kyle Leahy makes the start. He is 7-4 overall, and he was really good in the month of July. In 5 starts, he had a 1.38 earned run average and a 0.88 whip. 26 innings, 24 strikeouts for Kyle Leahy, while he walked just 4 hitters. Leahy's going to be opposed by right-hander Ryan Feltner tonight. Feltner 4-5 for the Rockies. Cardinals start the series 57-58 following that series win with the Yankees. They trail the Brewers by 15 games in the Central, and they are 3.5 games out in the wild card race. First pitch is 7:15 tonight. Pre-game coverage is at 6:20. The Gateway Grizzlies get a win going into the weekend.
The Gateway Grizzlies scored 5 runs in their first 4 turns at bat on Thursday night at Arsenal BG Ballpark and rode that early momentum along with strong pitching to a 7-1 series-clinching win over the Schaumburg Boomers, taking the critical head-to-head series 2-1 in Sauget. With an update from the Grizzlies for KMOX Sports, I'm the voice of the Grizzlies, Jason Garrett. Jose Alvarez's solo home run in the second inning got the scoring started, and Dale Thomas stayed hot with an RBI single in the third to make it 2-0. A sacrifice fly by native St. Louis and Derek Williams preceded a 2-run home run by Darrell Lee, as the Grizzlies plated 3 runs in the 4th to go ahead by 5, and then 2 more runs came across in the bottom of the 6th to make it 7-0. Meanwhile, on the mound, Ty Good pitched 6 shutout innings to get his 6th win of the season. And while the shutout was broken up with a run in the 9th for the Boomers, it would not change the final result, as Gateway improved to 2-1 on the homestand. They will continue said homestand on Friday night at Arsenal BG Ballpark when they play host to the Joliet Slammers, with first pitch scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Central Time. On your home for Gateway Grizzlies baseball, the Grizzlies Media Network, powered by Odyssey.com and the free Odyssey app.
Next sports update comes up at 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
There's nothing like hearing your friends and family clearly. A grandchild's laugh, conversation with a friend, or the punchline to a joke. Charlie Brennan here with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler and her team understand that hearing is personal. That's why you'll always work with certified audiologists like Adam Voss, Bailey Campbell, and Dr. Colleen Bosler.
That's right, Charlie. We offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so our recommendations are based on what fits you best. With us, we follow best practice fitting methods to ensure your hearing aids are programmed precisely for your unique hearing needs. But our care doesn't end when you walk out the door. As we know, hearing aids require continued support, adjustments, and maintenance, and we offer these services at no extra cost to you. Because better hearing isn't just about devices, it's about reconnecting to the moments that matter most. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
6:20 on Total Information AM. Brian Feldman alongside Debbie Monterey. Let's check in on the roadways with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are quiet out there right now, Brian. I don't see any issues heading out the door onto the area highways. I'm just looking right now, though. They called out for a motorist sick case on eastbound 70. They said west of Lindbergh. I looked at Lindbergh. I don't see anything coming through there, and I'm looking at traffic headed through the Rock Road, and it looks okay so far. So I'm sure it's on the shoulder, but it's not slowing anything down yet. So that's the good news on eastbound Highway 70. And there's no delays on 70 anywhere else. Out west, of course, is where you would expect it between Warrenton and Wentzville, but it looks great there. Looks good coming up from the south side, 55 up through Festus, 141 to the Merrimack. Sometimes we see slow traffic there. Nothing doing so far. And on the Illinois side, 5570 between 255 and 203. Again, in that construction area, things continue to be light and on the go and looks good across the bridges after that. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Well, today and tomorrow shouldn't be too bad, but things get downright steamy again as we head into Sunday and Monday. For today, it's going to be humid and warmer, sun and clouds. We could see a thunderstorm in parts of the region, high of 90. Tomorrow, partly sunny, 90. But by Sunday and Monday, real field temperatures will be well over 100 degrees. Right now, it's partly cloudy and 69.
The news continues at 6:22. The Urban League of St. Louis hosting a community empowerment series this weekend from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Residents can stop by the Urban League headquarters at 1408 North Kings Highway Boulevard for a job fair featuring 50 companies.
Tomorrow, families can get free back-to-school resources like book bags and school supplies. And Sunday, the Urban League is offering free back-to-school physicals and immunizations, health screenings, vision, hearing exams, and more.
Six Flags St. Louis shuttered its gates at 5 p.m. in the face of stormy weather yesterday. Theme parks often keep an eye on radar and lightning tracking miles away before making the call to shut down high-exposure attractions or pull back daily schedules. Park spokesperson Elizabeth Gotway previously told KMOX waiting until storms actually hit, never an option.
You just can't go up to the wire with everything. Sometimes you have to, a little further out, say, this is where we have to make the call on something. And that's always going on here. We have a lot of people in the park every day that we're responsible for.
Guests affected by the shutdown can reuse their tickets on any regular day through September 7th.
Missouri's annual back-to-school sales tax holiday starts today and runs through Sunday. Joe Don Cheney at the Department of Revenue says clothing and many other items will be tax exempt.
There are those things that are not qualified. For example, watches, watch bands, jewelry, handbags. Other things are not included in that list.
The Department of Revenue has a list of what's exempt and what isn't on its website. In Illinois, the state sales tax holiday means it'll be 5% lower, the state sales tax for back-to-school items from today through August 16th.
Applications now open for the next president of the University of Illinois system. Rob Hart has more.
University of Illinois Board of Trustees Chair Jesse Ruiz says outgoing President Tim Killeen had many wins over his tenure, including his response to the COVID pandemic.
The university created a shield test that was implemented across the university, but also across the state and across the country. So under his leadership, he was able to transition making sure those students can continue their learning and then help oversee developing that test to get them back.
Ruiz says the next university president will guide the school's transition into the AI era. He adds the next leader should see the University of Illinois system as a statewide entity instead of 3 separate campuses.
We are much greater than the sum of our parts, and that's how that next leader will continue that trajectory that Tim did start.
We talk about the search for the next University of Illinois system president this weekend on At Issue. You can hear the conversation Sunday at 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m.
To support a new caregiver parking law, the Illinois Secretary of State's office is launching a program to cut application wait times. Walk-in processing for disability tags is expanding to 14 regional DMVs statewide, including Granite City, plus outstate towns like Peoria and Carbondale, allowing families to get disability permits on site instead of applying by mail through Springfield. Here's Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias.
For families caring for adults with physical or cognitive disabilities, daily life already requires careful planning. Doctor visits, therapy appointments, grocery runs, and visits with family often depend on accessibility. Without a placard, caregivers are forced to park farther away, increasing stress and physical strain, and in some cases, even putting their loved ones at risk. This legislation does what's right and makes it more manageable for those who really need it.
The license offices, part of this, can handle both initial applications and renewals for permanent plates or meter-exempt placards.
There are calls for a renewed effort to seek unity in the wake of a contentious primary election in Missouri and what will most certainly be a heated midterm election. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Pastor and health ethics professor Dr. Raymond Roberts at the University of Richmond tells KMOX's Megan Lynch our country is in crisis. To bring our country back together and reduce polarization, he says we need to find common ground in our shared values.
When we're focused on principles, those higher principles, we begin focusing less on the things that divide us. We begin to focus on, when we focus on the things that we share, that everyone is made, has some inherent dignity. I mean, our government is founded on that.
Dr. Roberts is a St. Louis native. He'll be speaking about his new book, A Democratic and Republican Faith, a public theology for a church and nation in crisis, this Saturday morning at the Giddings Lovejoy Presbytery in Ferguson. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
It is 6:27. The time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, it's Margaret from Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. I've worked with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano for more than 30 years. Their guidance and assistance with my estate planning and legal documents gives me the peace of mind that I have the retirement I've worked for and always dreamed of. And I'm playing it fully with my grandchildren, volunteering, and traveling worldwide. I play confidently knowing my estate is secured in any event. You can get your estate secured with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano too. Visit their website, yourestatemasters.com, and download their free webinar on how to get started. Then make a free appointment. Your estate matters because you matter. Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestatemasters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision and should not be made solely on advertisement.
My constipation with belly pain kept coming back. I'm back! Like her. Future me. You know why I'm here. Our doctor figured it out. Your symptoms keep coming back because it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. And Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is the #1 prescribed branded treatment for IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily prescription pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Seeing more bees, wasps, or hornets around your home? Carpenter bees can damage wood structures, and wasps and hornets often hide nests inside walls. Don't risk getting stung. Let Rottler Pest Solutions protect your home and family. Call Rottler today or visit rottler.com.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
At 6:30, we have partly cloudy skies and 70 degrees downtown at the Arch Days, Friday, August the 7th. Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
But we're still quiet on the highway so far this morning, Debbie. This traffic reports a service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. If you're on eastbound Highway 30, however, I'm seeing some slow traffic. Not a jam, but it is slow now, approaching Mauer all the way up the hill to 270. And out west, they were talking about a crash and a tree down in the roadway. So I don't know if the car struck the tree or what the situation was, but I am seeing a little bit of a delay on eastbound 100 west of Thornton Road. It was jammed 10 minutes ago. It doesn't look quite as jammed now, but still delays through that area. So just watch for some restrictions. It looks like maybe on the eastbound side of 100 at that point. But like I said, interstate-wise, we're in great shape. 70 looks good coming in from Wentzville, 64. Southbound 61, they're all hooked up and running well. And on the Illinois side, there's still no delays in the work zone on 5570 between 255 and 203. Next update at 640 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be a little toasty for the next few days. Humid, warmer, times of sun and clouds. Today, thunderstorm possible in parts of the area, high of 90 degrees. That's according to meteorologist Heather Zaire. Tonight, partly cloudy and humid, low of 71. Tomorrow, it's going to be sunny and warm again, high of 90. But then Sunday and Monday, oh boy, watch out. Hot and humid on Sunday, high of 95. But the AccuWeather real field temperature, over 100. And then on Monday, a high of 98, but it's going to feel like 105. So enjoy the cool 90s while you have it for the next couple days. Right now, partly cloudy skies and 70 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:32. High levels of E. coli were found in the Big River an hour south of St. Louis after the Leadwood wastewater treatment plant failed. According to a news release by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, that treatment facility has degraded and ineffective treatment equipment, which is allowing only partially treated wastewater to be released into the river.
The release says the department has been working with the city of Leadwood since May to provide a framework to address longstanding issues with the failing wastewater treatment facility. The director of the Department of Natural Resources, Kurt Schaefer, has called this a, quote, all-hands-on-deck operation to quickly address the issue.
Steve Ellman says with his victory in the primary Tuesday night, St. Charles County has avoided the same setback that has hurt St. Louis City in recent years.
Ellman believes St. Louis's issues can be traced to politicians who align further to the left, with more moderate leaders like Kara Spencer elected to clean things up. Ellman says with his renomination over Bill Eigel and Jason Law, St. Charles County prevented a similar fate.
We avoided having to go through what the city went through. And basically fix something that the extremists created, and we avoided electing an extremist who would, whose policies are debatable.
Ellman says with moderate local leaders winning elections outside of the city and St. Charles, he sees a brighter, more prosperous future for the region. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Italy's oldest filled pasta maker is coming to St. Charles. Bertani is moving into a recently closed General Mills site on Millstone Parkway. In a post on Facebook, the city says the move brought in $36 million and will create 150 new jobs.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It is 6:34, and coming right up, we've got your Money Minute, and we'll check the roadways and your weekend forecast.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
At 6:35, time now for your Money Report. It's sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A big deal in the home building business. Dreamfinders Homes is buying rival Beazer Homes for about $916 million. DFH and Beazer both design and build single-family homes. Dreamfinders is heavily concentrated in the Southeast, and the deal with Beazer will give it a bigger foothold in Texas and the West. Traders are holding back making any big bets ahead of the July jobs report out later this morning. This will give Wall Street a fresh look at hiring and wages. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg estimate employers added 80,000 to the payrolls last month. S&P futures are seeing small gains. And coming off its most lucrative World Cup ever, FIFA is said to be exploring a deal to sell the media rights for the next two tournaments together, including the controversial hydration breaks. The 3-minute breaks were introduced for the first time at this year's tournament. Those additional commercials may have brought in an estimated $500 million for Fox. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
How to cope with such a diagnosis that can be very supportive for you through your journey of cancer. And additionally, we have social workers as well. So we're very fortunate at Siteman Cancer Center to have such a in-depth team to take care of you as you embark on this, hard time in your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Give the gift of a magical experience at St. Louis Union Station when you take a real train ride journey to the North Pole aboard the Polar Express. Meet Santa and experience the magic of the Polar Express story with hot chocolate, treats, music, and sing-alongs. For those that truly believe in the spirit of Christmas, head down to St. Louis Union Station this year. Book your golden ticket before they sell out at stlpolarexpressride.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, this is Lauren, and a little thing I love about the hash brown scrambled burrito is that it's gonna add the protein that you need. The eggs with those crispy nuggets. It's the ultimate combo.
Hi, this is Maya, and a little thing I love about the hash brown scrambled burrito is that it's packed with protein. Having Chick-fil-A chicken in a breakfast burrito is just phenomenal to me. You have the chicken, you have the eggs, and then you add these hash browns. It's just complete, honestly.
Order the Chick-fil-A hash brown scrambled burrito and Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It is 6:40. And it's time for us to get you traffic and weather. It's not a bad start to the morning. I see blue skies and sunshine with some clouds downtown. But we do have some steamy weather on the way. More details after we check the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No, things aren't really heating up on the highway so far, Debbie, so that's good news. We do have one. I don't know if this is the same incident from earlier. I never was able to see it, but they're saying it's a stall is what's in the right lane, eastbound 70 near the Rock Road. There's slow traffic from 270 into that area. Again, I can't see it blocking. Originally, they had called out a motorist sick case in that general vicinity, so I don't know if this is one on the same. I'm assuming maybe it is. So, again, it's just a slowdown running through the area. And I mentioned that tree in the roadway. We had a backup on eastbound 100 approaching Thornton Road. It looks like they cleared that and things have thinned out there, so no longer any concerns if you're coming in from out in the Villa Ridge area. Eastbound 100 looks to be in great shape, and so do the rest of the highways. In fact, the little delay we had eastbound 30 from Mauer to 270 is just a brief delay now at Weber Hill up to 270, so just a short little backup there. 55 looks great. Do see a little volume downtown, westbound 64, just crossing the Poplar Street Bridge, but no delays getting there. And it still looks okay on 5570 between 255 and 203 in the construction zone. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
CherryKilling.com.
At 6:41, let's get our weather forecast from meteorologist Heather Zaire. And Heather, looks like it's going to be a little toasty the next couple days, and it's going to really ramp up Sunday and Monday.
Yep, it's going to be that later part of the weekend into next week that it just gets downright hot. We're already warming things up quite a bit today with the rain that we had yesterday morning. That was enough to keep us from even making it back to 80. It was only 79 yesterday afternoon. Now we'll have some sunshine today, a spotty thunderstorm, and then we'll get back up to about 90 degrees. So it is going to be a warmer, humid day. Tonight stays humid with a few clouds and a low of 71, and we're partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high of 90 again tomorrow. Then that heat begins to ramp up on Sunday. We'll have sunshine and some clouds both Sunday and Monday. Hot and humid with a high of 95 Sunday. AccuWeather real field temperatures will be over 100, and we could get as high as 98 on Monday with real fields near 105. A thunderstorm and some more clouds return for Tuesday. Still hot, but not as extreme. High 93. 70 right now in St. Peters, 71 in Florissant, and 72 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. I'll tell you who's hot as the Cards get set to start a weekend series at home coming up in sports.
It is now 6:43. President Trump hosted the 2026 Winter Olympics team at USA at the White House yesterday and congratulated the winter athletes on their medals from February's games in Italy. He also said his administration is working to pass the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act to ban federal funds from schools that allow athletes who are male at birth from competing on women's sports teams.
We have a bill right now that we're trying to get passed, and if it does, we'll be bringing sports back, and you'll all be protected, and your sports will be protected, and frankly, women will be protected.
Republican Senator Mitch McConnell's office says he's been discharged from a rehab facility and will continue to recover at home. In a statement, McConnell says he'll, quote, maintain an intensive regimen of physical therapy from home during the state work period, end quote. ABC's Jay O'Brien has more from Capitol Hill.
It took McConnell's office weeks to say exactly why he was hospitalized. For a while, they said that he was only hospitalized with an undisclosed medical condition. That set off this kind of groundswell of speculation online, and only after that speculation kind of reached a fever pitch did McConnell's office come out and say that he fell, he was briefly unconscious, they said, and then he had a mild case of pneumonia, which he recovered from in the hospital.
The Senate Homeland Security Committee voting to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress and referring him for potential prosecution over his refusal to answer questions about his handling of the pandemic. We get more from ABC's Jay O'Brien.
The Republican-led Senate Homeland Security Committee voting to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after he refused to answer their questions, invoking the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times. The chairman of that committee, Rand Paul, says that Fauci is not eligible to do that because he received a full pardon from former President Biden. Fauci says that Paul has a, quote, unhinged obsession with him and wants to see him behind bars. Democrats accusing Republicans of trying to lay a trap for Fauci. Paul has now referred this matter to the Justice Department. No word on if they will seek criminal charges.
Now, KMOX Sports from the St. Luke's Hospital Sports Desk. St. Luke's, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital.
Who's Hot is sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories. As the Cardinals wrapped up their long stretch of games after the All-Star break, Alec Burleson enjoyed a nice series against the Yankees especially.
He singled on an 0-2 pitch. The pitch to Burleson. A swing! There it goes! There's his third home run tonight! Unbelievable! Oh, baby, what a swing! A 2-run homer for Burleson. 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. Yes, he got his 18th home run in this series. He got it in this game.
That was Monday night. As you heard, he homered 3 times in that game. He's now reached base safely in his first 12 career games against the Yankees. Wednesday, he was 1 for 4 with a double, his 28th double of the season. At the time, that tied for the MLB lead. It currently ranks second. Burleson is hitting .287 with 18 homers and 77 runs batted in. He's 3 home runs away from his career best of 21, which he hit in 2024. And his next RBI, that will tie his career high of 78, also achieved in 2024. Blaze Jordan, meanwhile, went 2 for 4 Wednesday. He extended his career-high hitting streak to 7 games, and he has hit safely in 13 of 14 interleague games that he has played in. Cardinals start his series with the Rockies tonight at Busch Stadium. The Cards are 57 and 58 following that series win against the Yankees. Redbirds trail the Brewers in the National League Central Division. They're 1/2 game in front of the Reds, and they're 3.5 games out of the final wild card spot in the National League. The Padres and the Marlins are in front of the Cardinals, and the Diamondbacks currently sit in that last playoff spot at 61 and 55. First pitch tonight is 7:15 at Busch Stadium. Pre-game coverage gets underway at 6:20. Would you believe we've got NFL football already?
Game on the line. King, he's going to step up. Pumps, runs, goal line. Is he in? Yes! Carolina wins! King's king. King of the night. Look at him. Whole team's out there mobbing him. It's party time in Canton, Ohio.
Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth last night on NBC and Peacock as Carolina Panthers quarterback, that is, Haynes King, scampered into the end zone from 5 yards out as time expired, and the Carolina Panthers beat the Arizona Cardinals 33-30 in the annual Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. King also threw for 2 touchdowns. He went 21 of 34 for 180 yards. Carson Beck started for Arizona. He was 15 of 19 for 188 yards and a touchdown in his first NFL action. Next sports update is 7:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. Tom Ackerman for St. Louis Composting. I've been a customer for the last couple of years. We had mulch delivered to our home earlier this spring. It's already been spread. Now's the perfect time for that. The perfect time to refresh your entire landscape with a fresh layer of mulch in your flower beds and around your trees. It is the fastest way to make your yard pop with a beautiful, well-kept look. St. Louis Composting has 9 retail locations all over the area. I didn't realize that when I first started talking about them. 9 locations all over the area, so there's one close to you. But you know what we did? We had the mulch delivered. You can just go to stlcompost.com. You can pick out the type of mulch you want. You can use their material calculator to figure out how much soil or mulch your project requires, and then they'll bring it to your home. stlcompost.com. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
St. Louis, are you ready to rock? AC/DC is bringing the Power Up Tour to the Dome at America's Center Tuesday, September 8th. Hear legendary hits like Back in Black, Thunderstruck, and Highway to Hell, performed live by one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Don't wait on tickets. They're still available at Ticketmaster.com. AC/DC, the Power Up Tour, Tuesday, September 8th. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX.
At 6:50, we check in on how the morning commute is looking with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it look great out there right now, Brian. Everything's easy going on the interstates. Still look okay out west, southbound 61, eastbound 64 and 70 coming in from Wentzville. No big deal. They cleared that stall, as a matter of fact. Eastbound 70 between 270 and the Rock Road. So it was just a slowdown when it was out there, but the slowdown is gone. I do see a little bit of a slowdown downtown. Eastbound 64 getting on to 5570. Of course, it's down to, I believe it's one lane through that stretch between 64 and Exchange on eastbound 5570. So just a little congestion there. But the westbound run coming in from 255 looks great. And seeing a little volume on Route 3 at Queenie, just slow, not jam. So if there was a train, it's not sitting there at least. And they have reported a minor crash. Sounds like it's on the shoulder, though. Southbound 67 at Rosner Road, so I don't see any issues there. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Duke's Real Mayo.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about award-winning chefs. Yes, chef. And why they choose Duke's Mayo. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Oh, sorry. I get distracted by that jingle. Also, it has a yellow lid. Humid and warmer today with times of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm in parts of the area today, a high of 90. Should be 71 overnight. Partly sunny, humid 90 tomorrow. But Sunday and Monday, things really start to heat up. We'll have real feel temperatures over 100 degrees both days. It's 69 degrees now and mostly cloudy.
The news continues at 6:52. Amanda Knox, who was convicted and then later acquitted of murdering her roommate when they were living in Italy 19 years ago, set to take part in Performing Arts Festival starting today. Her stand-up show called Cartwheel, a reference to a story that claimed Knox did cartwheels in the police station after Kircher's death. She spoke with Sky News about her show.
I talk about all of my experiences going through being vilified, but I also talk about the experience of trying to explain that to my daughter and how absurd that can be.
Knox and her then boyfriend were originally suspected in Meredith Kircher's murder, and Knox spent nearly 4 years in prison during the investigation and trial before she was freed. Another man, Rudy Herman Guady, from the Ivory Coast, was eventually convicted of the murder after his DNA was found at the crime scene. He was freed in 2021 after serving most of his 16-year sentence.
Miss North Carolina USA has been stripped of her title and replaced with the runner-up. ABC's Rhiannon Ally says details on why the 27-year-old was stripped of her title are light, but the Miss USA organization says it does not tolerate racism, homophobia, transphobia, nor language that strips any person of their dignity.
27-year-old Brittany Boltonhouse was set to compete in the Miss USA pageant later this month, recently sharing on Facebook one of the reasons she signed up for the pageant.
I wanted to look back in my life and be like, I absolutely tried.
But Boltonhouse dethroned after what state contest organizers say was a thorough review of recently surfaced information, with Miss USA citing conduct over an extended period of time.
Your boss is looking over your shoulder while you're at work. Well, I work from home, you say? Here's Rob Hart.
If you're doing work on a company computer, phone, or IT network, chances are it's being monitored by your employer. Rick Cobb of the workplace consulting firm 2 Discern tells the Noon Business Hour that employee surveillance systems are designed to track productivity and protect corporate secrets.
So there's security, is information that we think is proprietary going intentionally or unintentionally elsewhere? Are you actually doing the work that I'm paying you for?
Well, that comes at the price of employee trust.
Trust is in decline. More the employee for their employer. And they're proving that, the employer is proving that by taking these measures.
Employee digital surveillance can range from keystroke tracking to tech that tracks your eye movements.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
Celebrity birthdays on this August 7th include movie actress Charlize Theron is 50 today, the big 50. Happy birthday to her. Football player Jalen Hurts is 27. Mike Trout, the star from The Angels, is 34. Happy birthday. TV actor David Duchovny is 65. And TV actor Wayne Knight is 70.
This birthday shout-out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Happy birthday wishes going out to Dana Kiley from the Church Chicks, Sharon Silver from the Game Nighters, Jay Ingram and Linda Brantley from the Retiree Group, Jody Hughes and Sandy Sanders, also from the Life Group. Let's see, Leslie Mabry, Erica Willis, Jason Johnson, Michael Burns, are all celebrating. So are Dan Hagen from Michael, Michelle, Bo, Audie, Louie, and Stella, Dave Buckite from the Springs, and Emily Simmons from the Buckite family.
This is the best birthday ever.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm in the air conditioning business. I don't advertise that much. I was leaving a customer's home and I was out in Illinois, and as I was driving away, my fan for my air conditioner went out. I had to cross back over into St. Louis where there was bridge construction, so massive rush hour, backed up traffic, windows down, sweating. I had to take it straight to the dealership to drop it off because there's no way I can function, much less work, without air conditioning in my truck. And I'm the same way in my house, and every homeowner, not every homeowner, but most homeowners are the exact same way. So if you're experiencing difficulties with your air conditioner, meaning you have none, call me, Bart Inman. And it's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois. Call me. God bless.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
6:58, let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it still looks good on the highways. I'm not seeing any issues out there right now. We just had a little bit of a slowdown, and again, it hasn't gotten any worse. But eastbound 64, just a little heavy, getting on to 5570 east of the Poplar Street Bridge there into that work zone. It's down to, I believe it's one lane this time of day through Exchange, so it's just a little backed up. But coming the other way, the westbound run from 255 to 203, the construction zone, I'm not seeing any issues. And like I said, 5570, once you get through Exchange, eastbound even, 7 is a great run through them. The rest of the area interstates are still light and on the go so far. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Friday. It is the 7th of August. I'm Debbie Monterey.
I'm Sean Malone. After Tuesday's primary, one candidate for office is raising questions about the use of AI in political advertising and whether there should be guardrails. I've got that story coming up.
Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman.
We have 2 million visitors a year going to the arts or going to a ball game or both.
And that's why there's a new focus on getting those Keener Plaza storefronts filled up downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
I'm Joe Pott. The Cardinals return to Busch Stadium tonight to face the Rockies. I've got details on that series and more coming up in sports.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. It's going to turn warmer today. We'll also have a spotty thunderstorm, high near 90.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. A New Mexico court has ordered Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, to pay an additional $567 million in fines. It's all in connection with a case against Meta over child safety on the platforms, which the state won earlier this year. President Trump is pushing back on reports the U.S. air defense stockpile is dwindling. ABC's Rachel Scott has more.
According to one estimate, the war has used up 2/3 of America's Patriot missiles and more than half of its long-range missile interceptors. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has repeatedly insisted there's not a problem.
Our stockpiles are great, and they'll only get stronger.
But sources tell ABC News that when President Trump backed away from his recent threat to launch a massive attack on Iran, one factor he considered was warnings from his advisors that the missile stockpile was dwindling.
And at least 7 people have been killed in Bangkok, Thailand, in a school shooting there. This is ABC News. Kellogg's is speeding up the end of artificial colors in its cereals.
Coming next year, a year earlier to a cereal bowl near you, Fruit Loops that actually contain fruit. Colors made from fruit and vegetables, not synthetic dyes. The change is coming to all its colorful cereals like Apple Jacks, and Kellogg is also removing BHT, the artificial preservative. The rush is coming as Target says it will stop stocking cereals with artificial colors in the spring. Walmart is pulling artificial food dyes from its store brands by January. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Locals call him the master of disguise. The FBI says an armed robber held up 10 businesses around the Atlanta area between October 2025 and January of this year, while disguised as a construction worker, a healthcare employee, even a security guard. 33-year-old Tracy Mingo now faces several charges, including attempted robbery and possession of a firearm. I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
It is 7:02. We have cloudy skies, although I see a bit of blue in downtown St. Louis. It's also 70 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Brian Feldman. Our top story after Tuesday's primary, one candidate for office raising questions about the use of AI in political advertising and whether there should be guardrails.
An ad in the St. Charles County Executive Republican primary had fake footage of Bill Eigel and eventual winner Steve Ellman having a conversation with one another that never happened in real life. Now Ellman is arguing there needs to be protections in place. He worries after putting words in his mouth using AI, does this turn into a slippery slope?
Can you show your opponent doing something unethical? Or worse yet, can you show him your opponent doing something illegal?
Ellman says calling the AI deepfakes obvious is not a sufficient excuse. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Missouri's primary election brought strong turnout and heavy interest in several statewide ballot issues. MissouriNet asked Secretary of State Denny Hoskins how the election process went statewide.
No significant issues were reported across the state. Just a few electioneering calls and complaints. Maybe somebody was electioneering too close to the door or things like that. But overall, it was a very successful election.
About 1.4 million Missourians cast ballots in Tuesday's election, resulting in turnout of roughly 33% statewide.
Congressman Wesley Bell would like to worry less about labels and more about working together.
Focusing on issues that matter to regular working class families, cost of living, which is skyrocketing, the healthcare costs, which are also skyrocketing, corruption that we're seeing, and folks want us to do something about that.
On KMOX's Chris and Amy, Bell also said there needs to be changes in how FEMA money is distributed. The president is the one with the power to grant or deny emergency help.
If a state is denied, they can appeal to the president. Donald Trump has been denying or holding up funds to states that didn't vote for him. Bell won his primary Tuesday and will face Republican Paul Berry in November.
A federal judge scolding the owners of Fox 2 and Channel 11 for trying to take over the board at KSDK Channel 5. Nexstar bought Tegna, Channel 5's parent company, earlier this year, but a court ordered them to keep the operations completely separate while a bipartisan antitrust lawsuit plays out. The Desk.net reports a judge ruled yesterday putting Nexstar executives on Channel 5's board violates that order. It keeps KSDK an independent competitor here in St. Louis for now.
Used to be there were plenty of stores and restaurants right along Keener Plaza downtown. Could that happen again?
The new owners of the Keener East and West parking garages want to bring restaurants and shops back to 75,000 square feet of empty ground floor space that is right across from Keener Plaza and the Gateway Mall. The nonprofit Arch to Park Equity Fund bought the twin structures from Interpark after past departures, including St. Louis Bread Company and Lion's Choice, left 4 out of 5 storefronts vacant. CEO Dustin Allison says changing that dynamic was a driving factor behind the purchase.
I think having this local ownership group laser focused on filling those retail spaces, particularly the spaces that face Keener Plaza, where we have 2 million visitors a year going to the Arch or going to a ball game or both in any given year. We really need to focus and make that as attractive as we can to bring in the vendors.
The initiative builds on recent momentum across downtown, joining projects like the nearby Millennium Hotel site redevelopment and the new Brickline Greenway Trail. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Missouri's annual back-to-school sales tax holiday is this weekend. Jodan Cheney of the Department of Revenue says many items will be exempt, but there are exceptions.
So they can go to our website at dor.mo.gov, and they can pull up and just type in back to school, and they can get a list of items. Another way would be to, when you're checking out, make sure that you look at your receipt.
The sales tax holiday begins at 12:01 Friday and ends at midnight Sunday in Illinois. The temporary tax break runs from August 7th and August 16th.
The Urban League of St. Louis hosting a community empowerment series this weekend from 10 to 3 today. Residents can stop by the Urban League headquarters, 1408 North Kings Highway, for a job fair featuring 50 companies.
Tomorrow, families can receive free back-to-school resources like book bags and school supplies. And Sunday, the Urban League offering free back-to-school physicals and immunizations, health screenings, vision and hearing exams, and more.
Unexpected summer storms forced Six Flags St. Louis to shut down early yesterday, locking the gates at 5 p.m. To make up for trips getting cut short by rain and lightning, the theme park is automatically turning Thursday's passes into flexible rain checks. Park spokesperson Elizabeth Gotway previously told KMOX that closing up early is always a tough decision for staff.
We never, ever want people to be frustrated with us or upset. We always want them to be happy with us, but sometimes we just have to make some tough calls. And yeah, that's going on behind the scenes every single day when every single guest is here.
Any ticket purchased for the shortened date yesterday remain valid through September 7th.
Traffic and weather next. It's 7:07.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett with Timberline Tree Care. I'm really excited to announce another reason why we should be taking care of your trees. Timberline is now the only tree care provider anywhere to offer full-spectrum tree maintenance programs that are fully guaranteed. Here's how it works. You call Timberline and an ISA-certified arborist will meet you at your home. We will develop a plan that includes soil testing and amendment, fertilization, any necessary pesticide applications, and annual inspections by an ISA-certified arborist. But here's the best part. Maintenance pruning of your tree is included in this plan. And in the unlikely event that your tree dies while under our care, we will remove it for free. All you have to do is call us and sign up for the plan. We will take care of literally everything from there. There's no obligation, and you can cancel at any time. For tree care that is guaranteed, call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or find out more at stltreecare.com.
If you're listening to KMOX, I bet you're a baseball fan. So if you've got a feeling about who's going to hit a home run today, don't just sit on it. FanDuel wants you to call your shot with Daily Dingers. All you have to do is make your pick on who's hitting a home run, and if you're right, you get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at bigger winnings. Now, when your favorite slugger hits that walk-off, you're going to feel like a winner, too. Daily Dingers on FanDuel, free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the MLB season. That's why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So are you ready to play your game? Check out Daily Dingers at FanDuel.com/Missouri. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Big hits can mean bigger winnings on FanDuel, an official partner of MLB. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is going on 7:10. And a little more cloudy in downtown St. Louis since the last time we checked the weather. We'll do that in just a moment. Here's Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, that should help you on your drive in. Having dry roadways and not sun in your eyes certainly help at least the eastbound drivers. And right now, Debbie, everything continues to roll along. I'm not seeing any issues anywhere. Southbound 61, eastbound 64 and 70 coming in from out Wentzville. In fact, 70 from all the way out west in Warrenton through the construction zones. No, not even a hint of a slowdown through there. I do see a little volume on 30 at Mauer and on Tesson Ferry at Schussler, but again, not jammed, just a little busy at those intersections. But North 270 coming up through that stretch past 44 in Manchester looks good. 64 both ways in Richmond Heights area, good to go downtown. We had a little slowdown eastbound 64, and that's still all it is. At 5570 as you get into that work zone through Exchange. The westbound side coming in from 255 looks great, and is still clear across the Poplar and Musial Veterans Bridges as well. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, humid and warmer for today. We'll have intervals of clouds and sunshine. There'll also be a thunderstorm in parts of the area with a high right around 90. Partly cloudy and humid with a low of 71 tonight, then partly sunny, very warm and humid, high 90 tomorrow, headed up to 95 with sun and some clouds on Sunday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We have cloudy skies and 70 degrees downtown at the Arch.
I'll tell you who's hot for the Redbirds as they get ready for a series with the Rockies. That's coming up in sports.
It is 7:11. 2 Alton men charged yesterday for child sexual abuse. 56-year-old Terry Davis and 53-year-old Andrew Westbrook are charged with 6 counts of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child. It comes after Alton police found Davis, a registered sex offender, alone in a home with an 11-year-old in June. Both men were taken into custody August 4th and are being held until their hearings.
A burst water main sent a towering geyser over 44 near Valley Park during yesterday's commute. KMOX's Roger Brand.
That geyser got up above the height of the Merritt's pedestrian overpass. You know that pedestrian overpass has to be whatever it is, 14 point something or 15 feet above the roadway, and it was above that, and the overpass is probably 10 feet high, so make it 25, 30 feet in the air. This geyser was gushing right alongside the highway, and eventually it started turning brown, indicating it was taking soil with it. The hole was expanding, and it was starting to cover eastbound 44, not only with the water, but just with the mud and debris.
The break happened between 141 and Bowles. Police shut down the eastbound lanes until utility crews could turn off the gushing water main around 5:30.
High levels of E. coli found in the Big River about an hour south of St. Louis after the Leadwood wastewater treatment plant failed. According to a news release by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, the treatment facility has degraded and has ineffective treatment equipment, which allowed only partially treated wastewater to be released into the river.
The release says the department has been working with the city of Leadwood since May to provide a framework to address long-standing issues with the failing wastewater treatment facility. The director of the Department of Natural Resources, Kurt Schaefer, has called this a, quote, all-hands-on-deck operation to quickly address the issue.
The St. Louis Blues say going to full free over-the-air broadcast simply wouldn't bring in enough cash to keep the team competitive. While NHL markets like Vegas, Florida, and Nashville shifted games to local stations, Blues officials tell the Business Journal that ad revenue alone falls short. The team is instead pushing for a pay TV and streaming deal similar to the Cardinals. TV, though, they hope to air up to 15 games over the air this season.
A decades-old border war dispute helped push through a congressional resolution declaring the Missouri Tigers as national champs. Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt secured unanimous Senate approval, recognizing Mizzou's 1960 claim to the national college football title. Speaking on the Senate floor, Schmidt revisited the controversial end to that regular season against rival Kansas.
Sometimes, Mr. President, Kansas simply uses a player who wasn't eligible to be on the field. The Jayhawks defeated Missouri on the scoreboard for a few brief and fraudulent weeks. They called themselves conference champs, but there was a problem. The Jayhawks had discovered that the only way they could execute better than Missouri was by breaking the rules. The Big Eight ordered Kansas to forfeit the victory and strip the Jayhawks of the conference title. Kansas could keep the memory of the final whistle. Missouri kept the title.
Schmidt's resolution formally enshrines Mizzou's 11-0 record and Big Eight championship in the congressional record, capped off by their Orange Bowl victory over Navy.
Now, KMOX Sports from the St. Luke's Hospital Sports Desk. St. Luke's, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital.
Well, the Cardinals played 20 consecutive games from the end of the All-Star break until an off day yesterday. The Redbirds went 7-13 in that long stretch, but they wrapped it up with a series win against the Yankees in New York. The offense was really good with a 5-homer, 13-run game Monday, and after dropping Tuesday's game, they bounced back with a 3-1 win Wednesday night. That came thanks to a timely hit from J.J. Weatherholt.
There's a swing and a fly ball center field. That sends Grisham back. Grisham is back at the track, and the ball's off the wall. The Cardinals are going to get 2 runs out of the double by Weatherholt. That kept carrying and carrying over the head of Trent Grisham. And Weatherholt drives in, runs 42 and 43, 2-0 Cardinals with 2 outs in the 5th.
John Rooney there on Wednesday. That's our cut of the game. It is sponsored by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Kyle Leahy will make the start tonight. He's in search of his 8th win of the year, but also looking for his first win since July 4th. He's 7-4 overall, and despite winning only once, Leahy has been highly effective in 5 starts in the month of July. He has averaged more than 5 innings a start, and he sports a 1.38 earned run average and a 0.88 whip in those 5 starts. In 26 innings, he has struck out 24 hitters, and he has walked just 4 hitters. His last start came a week ago in Toronto, where he worked 6 innings, allowed a single earned run on 6 hits, and he struck out 3. He's appeared in 5 games against the Rockies in his career. He has not made a start yet, but he's 1-0 with a 4.3 earned run average. It'll be right-hander Ryan Feltner on the mound for the Rockies. Feltner is 4-5 with a 5.74 earned run average. Cardinals start this series 57-58. Redbirds trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 15 games in the National League Central, and they're only 1/2 game in front of the Reds in the division. Cards are 3.5 games out of the final wild card spot. Padres and the Marlins in front of them, and the Diamondbacks currently in that spot. First pitch tonight is 7:15 at Busch Stadium. Gateway Grizzlies are heading into the weekend with a series win.
The Gateway Grizzlies scored 5 runs in their first 4 turns at bat on Thursday night at Arsenal BG Ballpark and rode that early momentum along with strong pitching to a 7-1 series-clinching win over the Schaumburg Boomers, taking the critical head-to-head series 2-1 in Sauget. With an update from the Grizzlies for KMOX Sports, I'm the voice of the Grizzlies, Jason Garrett. Jose Alvarez's solo home run in the second inning got the scoring started, and Dale Thomas stayed hot with an RBI single in the third to make it 2-0. A sacrifice fly by native St. Louis and Derek Williams preceded a 2-run home run by Darrell Lee, as the Grizzlies plated 3 runs in the 4th to go ahead by 5, and then 2 more runs came across in the bottom of the 6th to make it 7-0. Meanwhile, on the mound, Ty Good pitched 6 shutout innings to get his 6th win of the season. And while the shutout was broken up with a run in the 9th for the Boomers, it would not change the final result, as Gateway improved to 2-1 on the homestand. They will continue said homestand on Friday night at Arsenal BG Ballpark when they play host to the Joliet Slammers, with first pitch scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Central Time. On your home for Gateway Grizzlies baseball, the Grizzlies Media Network, powered by Odyssey.com and the free Odyssey app.
Next sports update comes up at 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:21. Let's go to Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things look good out on the area highways still. I mean, we're getting closer to the peak rush hour time, Brian, but I still don't see much in the way of volume. There's just a little slowdown on 30 at Mauer, going up the hill to 270s. No big deal coming in from out west. Southbound 61 coming down to eastbound 64 and 70, still both wide open out of Wentzville across the Missouri River bridges. North 270 as you ramp on from 55 up through Gravois, 44 Manchester. Everything looks great. 64 through the Richmond Heights area around the Interbelt's fine. Just seeing a little bit of a slowdown on eastbound 64 getting on to 5570 at Exchange, where you get down to that lane restricted area, and then again at 203. But basically east of there, it's fine over to 255, and the westbound run across the bridges continues to cruise along. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, weather-wise, today is going to be a day where it's humid with clouds and sun and a high of 90. We could see a thunderstorm here and there. Also tomorrow, much the same without the thunderstorms. Partly sunny, humid, 90. Sunday and Monday gets really hot with real field temperatures over 100 degrees. Right now, it is 71 degrees and partly cloudy.
The news continues at 7:22. Missouri now included in the list of states impacted by cyclosporiasis. Cases of people impacted by the parasitic illness has reached almost 1,100. That's up from about 43 cases in mid-July. The recalled Taylor Farms lettuce came to Missouri through Walmart stores, Taco Bell, and food service distributors.
That national salmonella outbreak tied to jalapenos is hitting close to home. Health officials say 30 people in Illinois and 13 in Missouri have gotten sick from it. Imported peppers ended up at Chipotle and Qdoba. Both chains have already pulled them.
If you see a bunch of dead fish in the Mississippi River, don't freak out. Thousands of invasive carp dead after a likely combination of high temperatures and disease. That's according to Matt Combs with the Department of Conservation in Missouri. Combs says a small die-off happens every year, but a massive amount like this brings both pros and cons.
These are invasive carp that we don't really want to have here. They've dominated the Mississippi and Missouri River fish communities, and they displace other native fish by how they eat. So from that perspective, this die-off is helpful.
On the flip side, Combs says a short-term negative is that the fish will decay and smell until they're eaten by other fish or animals. Combs says the amount of dead carp not a cause for concern unless native fish start dying as well.
Well, those dead fish are kicking up quite a stench. Grafton Mayor Mike Morrow tells the Post-Dispatch that local ferry operators have resorted to rubbing Vicks VapoRub under their noses to overcome the overwhelming dead fish smell. Dan Zarlenga with the Conservation Department says it is an opportunity for birds, predators, and other scavengers to get an extra meal.
Eat up quickly, my friends.
Yes, very quickly. It's going to get hot.
The FDA has approved a new kind of flu vaccine for older people, the first made with the same mRNA technology that was key to ending the COVID-19 pandemic. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer talked with WashU medicine immunologist Dr. Hanover Matz, who studied the vaccine when it was in the clinical trial stage.
We wanted to determine if an mRNA-based flu vaccine would offer any advantages over the regular seasonal flu vaccine that people typically get every year.
And what did you find?
We found that an mRNA-based vaccine stimulated a very strong immune response, and it generated antibodies that could block many different types of the flu virus. Every year, it's very difficult for flu vaccines to beat the flu virus because the virus changes a lot, and we always have to update the vaccines. But this mRNA-based vaccine seems to be very good at combating those changes in the virus.
Why is that?
We found that it could stimulate a higher diversity of antibodies, and so those were capable to bind different types of the virus, and then that resulted in better protection when that virus tries to make you sick, and then even potentially it can stop the virus from transmitting to other people if you have the flu.
Dr. Matz, how did you do this study?
We recruited people who received either the mRNA-based vaccine or the conventional inactivated flu vaccine, and then we measured their immune responses by taking different samples and looking at how their immune system was responding to the vaccine.
Did you have kind of like a unique way of looking at this?
Yes. One of the unique things that we can do is we use ultrasound-guided fine needle aspirations of the draining lymph nodes. So when you receive a vaccine, the components of the vaccine are going to go to your lymph nodes, and it's going to teach the immune system how to fight the virus. And so those are very unique samples that we can collect here at Washington University, and that allows us to track how the different antibodies made by your B cells change and how high affinity they get, how well they bind the different types of influenza viruses that you might encounter.
Were you surprised by these findings?
We were not surprised to see that the mRNA vaccine could stimulate a strong immune response. We knew that when we had done prior studies looking at mRNA-based vaccines to COVID-19, but we were surprised that the mRNA-based vaccine was able to generate immunity against so many different types of influenza virus. That's a real advantage compared to the regular flu vaccine.
How far back does this protection go?
We were able to measure antibody responses out to 6 months post-vaccination. Those antibody titers were still higher 6 months later in people that had received the mRNA-based vaccine. So we think that's a real benefit of this type of vaccine.
What are the implications of this study?
One of the implications is that when you give it to people, then you would have better odds of dealing with when the virus changes and it escapes the vaccine-mediated immunity. Another potential benefit of an mRNA-based vaccine is that some point in the future, we may not have to administer vaccines yearly to combat the influenza virus, but that's something that will probably take several more years of research to figure out.
So what's your main message you want listeners to take away from this interview?
The main message I want listeners to take away is that we learned many things from this study about how mRNA-based vaccines can improve the immune response. So not only does it seem really effective for the influenza virus, but we think some of the things that we learned from this study can be applied to developing vaccines against other viruses and other pathogens. And so this is a really promising platform for improving how we design vaccines and how we deal with diseases.
WashU medicine immunologist Dr. Hanover Matz.
It is now 7:27. The time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. The smartest way to do your homework is Heckman Lumber.
Thinking about building a new deck? Start with the trained professionals at Hackman Lumber, home of one of the largest inventories of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. From treated lumber and cedar to all the leading names in decking, their team will help you choose the perfect materials for your dream deck. Then finish it off with endless railing options, balusters, and LED deck lighting to bring your backyard to life. Hackman Lumber will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials, guaranteed. Do it yourself? Their team is ready to help. Also, check out their expanded paint department with custom color matching. And don't forget, follow Hackman Lumber on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to catch weekly deals, specials, and project inspiration all season long. Or visit us at hackmanstl.com. Locations in St. Peters, Troy, and Pacific, Missouri.
When it comes to your hearing, you deserve expert care. At the Audiology Center, you're treated by certified audiologists Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Adam Foss, and Dr. Bailey Campbell, meaning 8 years of advanced education, clinical expertise, and a commitment to best practices.
Charlie, we offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so you get what's best for you. Every patient receives individualized testing, precise fittings using real ear measurements, and personalized programming to ensure your hearing aids perform exactly as they should. And our care doesn't stop once you leave the office. We're committed to helping your hearing aids last through ongoing adjustments, maintenance, and long-term support at no extra cost. Better hearing is personal, not one size fits all. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com. And let's take that first step together.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
So we're trying to actually educate our general surgeons if you're getting a hernia repair or a gallbladder out and a woman is done with childbearing, even if they don't have an elevated risk for the development of ovarian cancer, to really get those fallopian tubes out. So we're on a mission to try to prevent ovarian cancer.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Imagine every time your business makes a sale. Inventory updates, an invoice is created, customer records are updated, accounting stays current. That's the power of Odoo. One fully integrated platform where every part of your business works together, automating tasks, eliminating extra steps, and saving you valuable time. Everything connects. Everything works. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Chris Ranchi and Amy Markscours connect you with the people, places, and conversations that bring our community together.
And now you get to hear about poo-poo in a box from a firefighter.
No, come on.
The hammerhead worm. And you get to hear about car fires.
And sinkholes.
And sinkholes. I love our newsroom. I think they're doing a great job.
From neighborhood happenings to local heroes, from everyday challenges to unforgettable stories. Chris and Amy, weekdays from 9 to noon on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:31, and right now we've got partly cloudy skies, 71 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Brian Feldman. This is Roger Brain in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got some trouble on the Illinois side now, folks. So we got a crash on westbound 64 just before 25th Street. Traffic is a solid jam at 111 right now on westbound 64. After that, it's clear sailing across the Poplar Street Bridge. Eastbound 64, 3rd Street on to 5578 Exchange, slower, so the delay's a little more extensive, but it's still a slowdown, not a jam. And after that, there's just a hint of a slowdown eastbound as you pass 203. That's all the volume we have on the interstates, because on the Missouri side, it continues to look great from out west. Southbound 61 on to eastbound 64 and 70 out of Wentzville, cruising. North 270, 55 up through Gravois, 44 Manchester. Everything looks good. 64, both directions around 170 in the Richmond Heights area. Everything continues to be light and on the go for you as well. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, today is going to be humid, warmer, sun and clouds, a thunderstorm in spots, a high of 90. Tomorrow, partly sunny and 90. Sunday and Monday, it's going to be really steamy with real field temperatures as hot as 105. Currently, it's cloudy and 71 downtown.
It's 7:32. Steve Ellman says after his primary victory over Bill Eigel and Jason Law, more than residents of St. Charles County are poised to succeed, with who he views as a group of moderate Democrats and Republicans leading the region. Ellman says he was surprised by how little cohesiveness was during the primary campaign, especially on focused topics like the airport.
If there's ever a time for us Republicans and Democrats to work together, if there's ever a time and ever a topic, it's that. Because this is a project that's going to last over a decade maybe.
Ellman says by avoiding electing an extremist, St. Charles County avoided what St. Louis is going through after electing far-left Democrats to office.
Tomorrow, actually, I take that back. Today is the first day of Missouri's back-to-school sales tax holiday. Joe Don Cheney with the Missouri Department of Revenue says many items are included.
Clothing, school supplies, computer software, graphing calculators, computers themselves, all of that you might use for school would be tax-free.
The sales tax holiday in Missouri ends at midnight on Sunday. The Missouri Department of Revenue has a list on its website of all the tax-exempt items. In Illinois, local sales taxes are still on, but the state sales tax will be 5% lower for back-to-school supplies, clothing, and shoes starting today and running through August 16th.
Einstein Brothers Bagels opening at 7th St. Louis area location, this one in Creve Coeur, just days after parent company Panera Brands announced plans to move its headquarters from St. Louis to Boston. The new Olive Bakery, part of an aggressive push to open 300 new locations nationwide by 2030, with a heavy focus on Midwest expansion.
Italy's oldest pasta maker, filled pasta maker, is coming to St. Charles. Bertani is moving into the recently closed General Mills site on Millstone Parkway. In a Facebook post, the city says the move brought in $36 million and will create 150 new jobs.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Report next. It's 7:34.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
7:35. We will get to traffic and weather here in less than 5 minutes. But first, it's time for your Money Report, and it's sponsored for you by Busey Bank.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. It's a tough time to be in the salad business. Sweet Green cut its annual outlook, saying the Cyclospora outbreak is making customers less willing to eat fresh prepared foods. This week, Sweet Green is facing another hurdle. It removed all jalapenos from a supplier tied to a salmonella outbreak. Wall Street is getting ready for the July jobs report out later this morning. Economists expect employers added 80,000 jobs last month. NASDAQ futures are leading the modest gains this morning. And football fans used to worry about their team winning. Now they have to worry about finding the game. The NFL's move into streaming has turned watching your favorite team into a subscription scavenger hunt, with games spread across YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Peacock. One fan says he spends more than $2,000 a year on streaming services just to watch his teams. The frustration is getting Washington's attention, with the Justice Department investigating the league's media deals. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run, because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Hey, this is Lauren. And a little thing I love about the hash brown scrambled burrito is that it's going to add the protein that you need. The eggs with those crispy nuggets. It's the ultimate combo.
Hi, this is Maya, and a little thing I love about the hash brown scrambled burrito is that it's packed with protein. Having Chick-fil-A chicken in a breakfast burrito is just phenomenal to me. You have the chicken, you have the eggs, and then you add these hash browns. It's just complete, honestly.
Order the Chick-fil-A hash brown scrambled burrito and Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Seeing more bees, wasps, or hornets around your home? Carpenter bees can damage wood structures, and wasps and hornets often hide nests inside walls. Don't risk getting stung. Let Rottler Pest Solutions protect your home and family. Call Rottler today or visit Rottler.com.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri is here for you with free confidential support. Counselors help with stress, coping skills, and connect to resources. If the St. Louis tornado impacted you, visit moshowmehope.org from Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
7:40 on Total Information AM. Brian Feldman alongside Debbie Monterey. Joe Pod in with sports in a few minutes. But right now, we need to check the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they still look great out there, Brian. I mean, we're at the peak time of the rush hour, but it's great on the Missouri side. On the Illinois side, we have a couple of delays, though. This traffic report's a service of Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. The one problem, actually, spot we have is westbound 64, a crash. Westbound 64 just before 25th Street. Traffic is jamming now west of 255 on westbound 64. And then the other delays, eastbound 64 is slow from 3rd Street onto 5570 at Exchange in the construction zone. And it's also slow now eastbound from 203 on 5570 most of the way to 111. Those are the bulk of the delays, though. On the Missouri side, the only thing we have, we had some debris reported on the ramp southbound 61 onto eastbound 70. That ramp's just a little backed up for you out in Wentzville. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family-operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
It is 7:41 and time for us to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Heather Zaire. And when you say a mix of sun and clouds, Heather, you aren't kidding, because I think the sun and clouds have been competing with each other here over the last hour, like nonstop.
Yeah, they really have been. We were fairly cloudy early this morning. Then it kind of cleared out a little bit. Now we're back to more clouds trying to come in. And that'll be the story as we go through the day. We're going to be back and forth between the clouds and the sun. It's also going to warm up, though. So we're not going to have nearly as much rain as we did yesterday when, because of that rain, we ended up staying in the upper 70s for highs. Instead, with some sunshine around, we're going to get up to about 90 this afternoon. That's pretty typical for early August. We're also also still have a thunderstorm in parts of the area. Nothing too heavy, though. Tonight, partly cloudy, humid, low 71, then partly sunny. We're back up to near 90 for tomorrow. And then the heat kicks up for Sunday and Monday. Both of those days will top out at least in the middle 90s, if not the upper 90s. We'll have sun and some clouds both days. On Sunday, the high of 95 will be accompanied by AccuWeather real field temperatures over 100 and a high of 98 expected Monday with real fields near 105. Not quite that hot, but still 93 with more clouds and a thunderstorm on Tuesday. 70 in St. Peters right now, 72 in Florissant and downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pod. Cards and Rockies coming up tonight at Busch. I'll tell you more about that in sports.
The news continues at 7:43. The Trump administration again looking to put limits on birthright citizenship, with the president signing 2 new executive orders. One bans so-called birth tourism, where a pregnant woman comes to the United States for the purpose of giving birth to an American citizen. The other order puts limits on who's eligible for citizenship at birth, banning it for children of alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments. More from ABC's Karen Hua in Washington, D.C.
The new orders are far more narrow than Trump's first try at tackling the issue, when he sought to end citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants and temporary visa holders. The Supreme Court rejected that in June, citing the 14th Amendment, which grants citizenship to anyone born on American soil.
We're learning more about 2 New Jersey towns affected by the cyber attacks on water systems in more than a dozen states. Here's ABC Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky.
New Jersey had come forward to say 2 municipal water systems in the state were hacked. Now we know which ones. The city of Cape May and the borough of Woodbine said their water systems were compromised last week, but with no impact on the flow or safety of public drinking water.
Congressman Rob Menendez says another death is connected to the Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey, where the Trump administration has been sending migrants. This is the 3rd death at the hall and 2nd in a month. It's believed to have happened 2 weeks ago when the detainee had a seizure during intake at Delaney Hall.
ICE is required to notify Congress and the public if someone dies in their custody, but technically the agency says the death happened at the hospital, not in custody. Here's ABC's Darla Miles.
The death of that 3rd detainee 2 weeks ago was never publicly disclosed. After his arrest, he suffered a seizure during the intake process. ICE granting a discretionary release on the spot, transporting him to the hospital, and later pronounced him dead there. Federal authorities told the family of 41-year-old Edwin Lopez Cornejo, who died Saturday after complaining of being denied medical care, that he too was pronounced dead after being transported to the hospital.
Now, KMOX Sports from the St. Luke's Hospital Sports Desk. St. Luke's, St. Louis's #1 heart hospital.
Well, as the Cardinals wrapped up their long stretch of games after the All-Star break, Alec Burleson is enjoying a nice little run. He had a great series against the Yankees this week.
He singled on an 0-2 pitch. The pitch to Burleson. A swing! There it goes! There's his 3rd home run tonight! Unbelievable! Oh, baby, what a swing! A 2-run homer for Burleson. 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. Yes, he got his 18th home run in this series. He got it in this game.
Perhaps you heard he hit 3 home runs in that game Monday night. He has reached base safely in 12 career games against the Yankees. Wednesday, he went 1 for 4 with a double, his 28th of this season. At the time, was tied for the major league lead. Currently, it still ranks 2nd in the majors. Burleson is hitting .287 with 18 homers and 77 runs driven in this year. He's 3 home runs away from his career best of 21, which he hit back in 2024. His next RBI, that will be number 78. That would tie his career high, also achieved in 2024. Blaze Jordan also playing well. He went 2 for 4 Wednesday and extended his career high hitting streak to 7 games. Jordan has hit safely in 13 of 14 interleague games he has played. Cardinals start a series tonight with the Rockies at Busch Stadium, and they're 57-58 following that series win against the Yankees. The Redbirds trailed the Brewers by 15 games in the National League Central. They're just 1/2 game in front of the Reds in the division. And the Cards are 3.5 games out of the final wild card spot in the National League. Padres and Marlins in front of them, and the Arizona Diamondbacks currently in that spot at 61 and 58. First pitch tonight is 7:15 at Busch Stadium. Pregame coverage gets underway at 6:20. Ready for some NFL football? Probably not, but it has started anyway.
Game on the line. King, he's going to step up. Pumps, runs, goal line. Is he in? Yes! Carolina wins! Kane's king. King of the night. Look at him. Whole team's out there mobbing him. It's party time in Canton, Ohio.
It's Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth having some fun on NBC last night.
We have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, this is Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This is it. Make no mistake, this is your last chance to live in the beautiful Cotterville Trails. We have a wide variety of market-ready homes and several home sites on a cul-de-sac that back to common ground. Save over $58,000 plus special 4.75% financing on select homes for qualified buyers. Visit McKelveyHomes.com. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration. Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It is 7:50. Thanks for tuning into Total Information AM. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're coming in on the Illinois side and taking westbound 64, just be advised they're still working with this crash. Westbound 64 just before 25th Street. Traffic is a solid jam on westbound 64 at 255. Going the other direction, you have roadwork delays. Eastbound 64, just slow as you get onto 5570 into Exchange. And then there's a couple of slow spots midway in from 203 to 111 on eastbound 5570 after that. And that is the only interstate backup we have at all on either side of the river. The Missouri side looks great. Just a little slow on that ramp, south 170 getting on eastbound 64 in Richmond Heights. And looks like they picked up the debris on the ramp from southbound 61 onto eastbound 70 because the little backup we had there is thinned out. And like I said, it's been looking great coming in on any of those highways from Wentzville all morning long. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire says it's going to be toasty the next couple days and then get really hot Sunday and Monday. Humid, warm today, possible thunderstorm in parts of the area, high of 90 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, humid, low of 71. Tomorrow, more of the same, minus the thunderstorm. Sunny, warm, and humid again, high at 90. And then Sunday and Monday, here we go. Sunday, humid, hot, high of 95, but the AccuWeather real field temperature over 100. Monday, high of 98, gonna feel like 105. So enjoy these cool temperatures over the next couple days. Right now, we have cloudy skies and 70 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:52. Illinois is expanding disability parking access for families caring for relatives who cannot drive. A new state law allows the Secretary of State's office to issue placards directly to legal guardians and parents. Secretary of State Alexi Giannullia says the update removes an artificial barrier that kicked in once a disabled child reached adulthood.
Parents and legal guardians caring for a disabled loved one take on immense responsibility that doesn't end when a child turns 18. And Illinois only makes it harder by creating an unnecessary burden to something as basic as accessible parking. It's time to fix this and allow caregivers to obtain disability placards to transport those adults in their care even after they turn 18.
Governor Pritzker signed the bill into law and it took effect immediately. The measure also grants eligible caregivers access to reserved spaces along with exemptions from parking meter fees.
A new report raises questions about support from the head of the Illinois House for ex-state Representative Harry Benton after allegations he harassed a female staffer. Nancy Hardy has details.
Speaker Chris Welch says he gave $1.4 million to Benton's 2024 re-election campaign because the Plainfield iron worker was entitled to due process. And Welch told Channel 9 Labor was a big advocate for Benton. The Tribune reports the speaker told the Women's Caucus last month the cash came after Benton complained to labor unions the speaker wasn't doing enough for his campaign. The legislative inspector general found Benton's harassment broke state law, and the Democrat had harassed the staffer of another lawmaker last year. He resigned last month.
The University of Illinois is taking applications for the next system president. Rob Hart has that story.
University of Illinois System President Tim Killeen is retiring after 11 years on the job. The school is now accepting applications for Killeen's successor. A search committee was named earlier this year. U of I Board of Trustees President Jesse Ruiz says it hopes to have a new president in place by December, before Killeen's departure next summer.
We could have a president named by the end of this calendar year, and then have a number of months. President Killeen's term goes through June of 2027, so there's a lot of transition time. Also building in a few months of buffer in case the person, I fully suspect, will be engaged in some other professional endeavor where they might need some additional time to transition from that role to the new role of president of the University of Illinois system.
We talk about the search for the next University of Illinois system president this weekend on At Issue. You can hear the conversation Sunday at 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m.
A message of hope during this polarizing time.
Pastor and health ethics professor Dr. Raymond Roberts at the University of Richmond tells KMOX's Megan Lynch our country is in crisis as trust in our institutions has been shaken, be it government or religion.
The church, the mainline church, which used to kind of nurture the democratic culture in certain ways, that church has been in decline for 40 years. And we, and as speaking as a mainline person, we have not been effective at sharing our values with our members, and it's seen in the decline in membership itself.
To bring our country together and reduce polarization, he says we need to find common ground in our shared values. Dr. Roberts is a St. Louis native. He'll be speaking about his new book, A Democratic and Republican Faith, a public theology for a church and nation in crisis, this Saturday morning at the Giddings Lovejoy Presbytery in Ferguson. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
It is 7:56.
Looking for something new? Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce 2 brand new opportunities in St. Charles County. Discover Crooked Creek at Cottleville Trails, featuring stylish new townhomes from the high 300s and access to incredible amenities that make Cottleville Trails one of the area's most sought-after communities. Or find the space you've been dreaming of at South Point Estates, where expansive 3+ acre home sites and top-rated Wentzville schools create the perfect setting for your custom dream home. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more about these exciting new communities.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Don't let garage door problems bench your summer plans. From repairs, tune-ups, and replacements, Renner Garage Door hits a grand slam every time. Score a free repair or replacement quote today, plus $100 off a new garage door. Featuring trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, Renner delivers the quality, reliability, and performance your home can count on. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
It is 7:58. Here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, again, everything is in pretty good shape for you this morning, with one exception on the Illinois side. This crash westbound 64 before 25th Street has a solid jam on westbound 64 back to 255. Other than that, eastbound 5570, well, 64 getting on to 5570 at Exchange is slow, and then there's a heavy pocket from 203 midway into 111, and then right at 111 after that. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Friday, August 7th. I'm Debbie Monterey. Coming up in the next hour of Total Information AM, what do high school students need to do this year to prepare for college? We'll get advice from author Beth Heller-Gillis coming up at 8:11. If you're looking for a free day-long outdoor recreational activity in St. Louis, look no further. We've got information on that as well.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Turning warmer today. We'll have some sun, a thunderstorm, and a high near 90.
Hancock and Kelly will be joining us after the news with ABC and local news. Stay with us here on KMOX. It's 8 o'clock.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. A New Mexico court is now ordering Meta to pay hundreds of millions of dollars following that landmark ruling earlier this year that found social media platforms are contributing to negative mental health outcomes in children. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Meta facing nearly $1 billion in penalties and changes to its platforms Instagram and Facebook, after a New Mexico judge handed down a decision saying Meta's social media platforms are a significant contributing factor to the current mental health crisis among New Mexico's youth. In this phase 2 of the landmark trial, the judge ordering Meta to pay $567 million.
That's in addition to a $375 million penalty the court had previously announced. Meta has said it will appeal. At least 6 people were killed when a gunman opened fire at a school on the outskirts of Bangkok, Thailand earlier today. That suspect, thought to be a student, is also dead. This is ABC News. Congressman Rob Menendez says there's been another death at the Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey. It is the 3rd death at the facility and the 2nd in just a month. It's believed to have happened 2 weeks ago when the detainee had a seizure. The agency is required to notify Congress when a detainee dies in their custody, but ICE says the death actually happened at the hospital.
The death of this 3rd detainee was never reported to Congress. It was never disclosed to the public. That's because he was not technically in federal custody when he died. And New Jersey Democrats and advocates say this is just part of the pattern of ICE and the private contractor here who runs Delaney Hall of fundamentally being unsafe, documented failures. And they say this is the wake-up call to finally shut this facility down.
ABC's Darla Miles. And starting today, campfires are banned in Olympic National Park on account of an elevated wildfire danger. I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
It is 8:02, and we have partly cloudy skies, 73 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. After Tuesday's primary, one candidate for office is raising questions about the use of AI in political advertising and whether there should be guardrails.
An ad in the St. Charles County Executive Republican primary had fake footage of Bill Eigel and eventual winner Steve Ellman having a conversation with one another that never happened in real life. Now Ellman is arguing there needs to be protections in place. He worries after putting words in his mouth using AI, does this turn into a slippery slope?
Can you show your opponent doing something unethical? Or worse yet, can you show him your opponent doing something illegal?
Ellman says calling the AI deepfakes obvious is not a sufficient excuse. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
There's still so much to do when it comes to tornado cleanup, says 1st District Congressman Wesley Bell, who won his primary Tuesday. He says he's worked hard with the Missouri delegation to get FEMA funds to help with almost $2 billion in damages. But clearly reforms are needed in how that money is doled out.
What we see is that the disaster relief process in this country is broken. It needs to be overhauled and reformed. Currently, the sole arbiter of whether disaster relief is allocated is with the president. And if you disagree with the president, you can appeal, and that appeal goes to the president.
Bell says Maryland had billions of dollars in flood damage, California $200 billion in fire damage. Both states got $0 from FEMA because they are blue states. Missouri election officials expected strong turnout for Tuesday's primary election. Secretary of State Denny Hoskins projected about 1.4 million voters statewide. And now that the votes have been counted, he tells MissouriNet numbers met or exceeded expectations.
Turnout ultimately ended up at around 33%, and we based that on our discussions with the local election authorities and county clerks who predicted anywhere from 20% turnout to 70% turnout in their particular district. So overall, they were right on track.
Election leaders across Missouri also reported heavy participation during the state's no-excuse absentee voting period leading up to Election Day. A burst water main sent a towering geyser over 44 near Valley Park during yesterday's commute. KMOX's Roger Brand.
That geyser got up above the height of the Merritt's pedestrian overpass. You know that pedestrian overpass has to be whatever it is, 14 point something or 15 feet above the roadway, and it was above that, and the overpass is probably 10 feet high, so make it 25, 30 feet in the air. This geyser was gushing right alongside the highway, and eventually it started turning brown, indicating it was taking soil with it. The hole was expanding, and it was starting to cover eastbound 44, not only with the water, but just with the mud and debris.
The break happened between 141 and Bowles. The eastbound lanes are still closed. A pair of hulking parking garages in the heart of downtown St. Louis will see new life.
A local nonprofit coalition has finalized a deal to buy the Keener East and West parking garages that are across from Keener Plaza. The Arch to Park Equity Fund bought the twin structures from Interpark after months of price negotiations. Group CEO Dustin Allison says the timing was finally right to bring the property under local management.
Having a locally owned, locally managed public asset like these parking garages could be very valuable, I think, to the rebirth of downtown and the continued development downtown.
The purchasing group includes the Gateway Arch Park Foundation and the Burgess Family Foundation. St. Louis Parking takes over garage management, while project leaders focus on recruiting new restaurants to the street-level spaces. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Urban League of St. Louis is hosting a community empowerment series this weekend. From 10 to 3 today, residents can stop by the Urban League headquarters on North Kings Highway for a job fair that features 50 companies. Tomorrow, families can get free back-to-school resources like book bags and school supplies. Sunday, the Urban League is offering free back-to-school physicals and immunizations, including health screenings, vision, hearing exams, and more. It's also the back-to-school sales tax holiday this weekend in Missouri, Friday through Sunday. Joe Don Cheney of the Department of Revenue says clothing and many other items will be tax exempt.
There are those things that are not qualified. For example, watches, watch bands, jewelry, handbags, other things are not included in that list.
The Department of Revenue has a list of what is exempt and what's not on its website. In Illinois, their state sales tax holiday, it'll be 5% lower, the state sales tax for back-to-school items from August 7th today through the 16th. Summer weather forcing Six Flags St. Louis to cut the coaster runs short yesterday. The Eureka theme park closed at 5 because of incoming storms. Park spokesperson Elizabeth Gotway previously told KMOX operational decisions like suspending rides or closing early, they stem from safety protocols rather than just reacting to minor weather disruptions.
I think a lot of times when we make some judgment calls, people sometimes get frustrated, and we get that. We're consumers as well, right? We have families and we go places and we get that frustration, but there are always reasons for it behind the scenes.
All single-day tickets purchased for yesterday are now good through Labor Day, which is September 7th. It's 8:07. We've got traffic and weather, and then Michael Kelly coming up.
The cookie cutter approach works well if you're making cookies, but not so well when you're trying to plan for retirement. If you want a customized income strategy, call Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group today. 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. And right now, FanDuel's giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. So here's how it works. So new customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 total. And with baseball on every day, there's always another game, another matchup, another chance to get in on the action. And that's whether you're betting money lines or player props, same game parlays, whatever. FanDuel has you covered. So place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet resets. So go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. Just remember that you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bet reset tokens. Refund from token issued as non-withdrawable. Bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund is $200 a day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Give the gift of a magical experience at St. Louis Union Station when you take a real train ride journey to the North Pole aboard the Polar Express. Meet Santa and experience the magic of the Polar Express story with hot chocolate, treats, music, and sing-alongs. For those that truly believe in the spirit of Christmas, head down to St. Louis Union Station this year. Book your golden ticket before they sell out at stlpolarexpressride.com.
The original Gas House Gang was loud, scrappy, unshaven, and impossible to ignore.
Typical Gas House Gang baseball.
The KMOX version, still loud, still scrappy, better shaving habits, and still impossible to ignore. Ackerman, Ranji, Claves, and Miklas. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on your home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX. This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's get a check on traffic in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Michael, everything's great except on the Illinois side. It looks like, though, maybe some good news. It looks like they cleared that crash westbound 64 that was just before 25th Street. However, westbound 64 is still a solid jam from 255 to about 37th Street, like midway between 111 and 25th Street. That's where it's opening up. So either we have another problem or that's the front end of the jam opening up, but we'll keep tabs on it. It is better than it was 10 minutes ago. Other than that, you just have some slow traffic eastbound 64 getting onto 5578 Exchange in that construction zone, and then stop-and-go pockets about midway in from 203 to 111, and it opens up about midway between 111 and Black Lane, so just bumper to bumper on eastbound 5570, both sides of 111. Other than that, on the Missouri side, all the interstates have been light and on the go all morning long. We never have seen any backups for sure, and barely any slowdowns. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And sun for today. It'll be humid and it's going to warm up. We're back to near 90 with a thunderstorm in parts of the area. We'll stay humid tonight, partly cloudy, low 71, then partly sunny, very warm and humid, high 90 tomorrow. Even hotter for Sunday. Sun and some clouds with a high of 95. It'll feel like it's over 100. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelly.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey now, happy Friday, John Hancock. How are you, my friend?
Good, buddy boy. Joining you from the great city of Kansas, over here on the western border of the state.
Are you in the Missouri or Kansas side of Kansas City?
I'm in the great state of Missouri, buddy.
That's right. You're not a traitor. You wouldn't be over in Kansas. And, John, you are over there, what, having a little relaxation after all the primary elections that you and I worked on?
My nephew Peter is getting married tomorrow, and I'm officiating the service.
Oh, my goodness. Did you bring a collar, or are you going to be wearing like a referee shirt, or how do you officiate? What do you wear to officiate a wedding?
A black suit, buddy.
Ooh, boy, you will look dapper, my friend. Speaking of black suits, a lot of people in elections this past week are mourning because they didn't have a successful outcome, John Hancock. And let's get into the local elections of note. And obviously the big marquee election was the rematch of Congressman Wesley Bell against former Congresswoman Cori Bush. Cori Bush had said the day she had lost the first time that she was going to tear down the house of Wesley Bell. She was going to bring the wrath on AIPAC. She came back, tried to take another run at it, and it went worse even than it did last time.
Yeah, and that's kind of the pattern with second chances. Candidates who lose and come back either come back with a vengeance and win, or much more often than not, they lose by a larger margin than they lost before, and that was the case here with Cori Bush. I think she may not know it, but she's probably done.
Yeah, I would think she's got to be done. 2 defeats is hard to come back from, although there is a local politician who's taking his third, heck, it may be his fourth or fifth. Let's talk about the St. Charles County executives race, not normally the order we'd go in, but I would argue the St. Charles County executive election was the most consequential election that took place in the region. We all know what's happening in the city of St. Louis, the trouble for revenue, the uncertainty, the loss of population. Then we look at St. Louis County, something similar happening there. St. Charles County, the ever-growing county in the St. Louis area, almost 400,000 plus people now out in St. Charles County. Steve Ellman, the 20-year incumbent, who had said he was going to step aside, did step aside and then decided, wait a minute, Bill Eigle's going to run, the former state senator, the firebrand MAGA type, was hopping into the race, and he said, nope, I'm going to come back, I'm going to run. A lot of us were concerned about his ability to be able to pull that reelect off. And but he did do it, and what a successful, huge victory Steve Ellman had over Bill Eigel and Jason Law.
Yeah, I think you're right in your assessment of the importance of that race. Both parties right now nationally are undergoing, one could argue a realignment where you're beginning to see the more extreme fringes prevailing in more and more primaries. That certainly happened in Michigan the other night, and I know we're going to talk about that later. But this was a really good test case of Bill Eigel, who is running on this kind of, I would call, demagogic populist platform, basically trying to say that Ellman's turning St. Charles County into St. Louis City, which, that didn't work. But it was a real test case of whether or not that kind of approach to politics is going to prevail in primaries. And a lot of people, including myself, were very concerned that given the dwindling number of voters in primaries and given the disproportionate influence that the flanks have in both parties, I was concerned that Eigel could win that, especially in a three-way race where you had two much more traditional center-right Republicans running, and Steve Ellman and Jason Law, but Ellman was defeated soundly.
Yeah, Eigel sure was. Let me ask you this. Is it a naive thought to think that the MAGA grip on the Republican Party, at least maybe in Missouri, may be fading a bit, or are these just unique circumstances and Steve Ellman ran a great campaign?
Too early to tell. I hope the former. The key to this whole thing, and I'm really interested in geeking out on the turnout numbers in St. Charles. I think if you can increase turnout in these primaries, both parties, then the candidates who are nominated are going to look more like the community they serve and less like the folks who show up in August. And if this is a trend, I hope it is.
The largest county in the state of Missouri is St. Louis County, arguably the most important county in the state of Missouri. Sam Page, I think everybody was ready to see him move on. We had State Senator Brian Williams, County Assessor Jake Zimmerman, and former State Senator Angela Mosley all running in that election. Brian Williams came out early in that to seem to be the front runner. Ran just a horrible, if not almost vacant campaign that people didn't really see much of him. And I got to tell you, a lot of criticism going at Jake Zimmerman from folks on my side of the aisle saying he ran a dirty campaign. I don't see it that way. I thought Jake Zimmerman ran a really effective campaign, fought this entire thing on his terms, defined Brian Williams, and wound up upsetting what many of us thought 6 months ago was a shoo-in for Brian Williams.
Yeah, you're right in saying Zimmerman defined Williams, and that was the result of two things: Zimmerman's campaign message discipline and Williams' just woeful campaign, I think. 6 months ago, we were sitting in that studio talking about this race, shortly after Sam Page said he wasn't going to seek re-election. Brian Williams had all the advantages. He was first in, he was raising money, he had all the institutional money on the Democratic side, and he just squandered it. And, part of the problem, I think, is like some candidates are prone to do, he decided to run his own campaign. And, when you're running for office, you're too close to it. You get attacked. You overreact. And I think that Williams really suffered from the fact that he didn't have good, at least seemingly, good professional campaign people surrounding him.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. John, we also had Amendments 4 and 5 well documented, not only got beat, got slaughtered. I don't think you can get 80% of Missourians to agree that the name of the state's Missouri, much less to reject two amendments like this. What does this say long-term about some of the policies that may be pushed out of Jefferson City by what many of us consider to be a ruby red conservative Republican state? Boy, when it comes to statewide initiatives, Missouri seems to lean liberal and against some of these Republican-style pushes. What's your take?
Well, the Republican base in Missouri is built on the cultural conservative axis. Issues like abortion, like transgender athletes, the cultural hot-button issues is the glue that holds the Republican coalition together. The Republican coalition in Missouri is not particularly fiscally conservative, and I think we all learned that lesson on Tuesday.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We're going to step aside, John. When we come back, we'll talk about the national elections and what's happening on this shift to the left in my party after this on Hancock and Kelly. Let's get a check on those roads with Captain Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Michael, the only delays continue to be on the Illinois side. This traffic reports a service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Looks like we have a new incident. I don't know if it's a stall or a crash. I can't see it, but there's just a brief backup. Westbound 64 just immediately west of 255. Like I said, they cleared that crash we had at 25th Street, but now the delays are from about 37th Street in pockets over to 3rd Street, westbound 64. It's just the volume pushing west and unwinding. And eastbound 64 still a little slow onto 5578 Exchange. And then you got roadwork delays most of the way from 203 to Black Lane on eastbound 5570 after that. Oh, and they opened that ramp, the exit southbound 255 to State Street. That had been flooded from the rains from the other day. Overhead Door Home Refresh Rebate. Call now and get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the qualifying purchase. Must be paid by September 30th. Visit overheaddoor.com to learn more and schedule a free estimate. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And the KMOX weather forecast. It's 74 degrees in downtown St. Louis. Cloudy most of the day, a high of 89, but don't worry. The miserable heat and the real field temperatures are coming this weekend. It's going to be hot.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have two nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world. and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. And that's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Still here, still trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Welcome back to Hancock and Kelly. My friend John Hancock over in Kansas City. We've got lots to talk about, John. My party is salivating at what November looks like and the opportunity to, number one, take back the House of Representatives and potentially the United States Senate. Many people think that that may be a tougher task now based on one of the outcomes that we saw up in Michigan, where we saw Abdul Sayed win the Democratic primary. He's a left-leaning. I don't know that he considers himself to be a democratic socialist, but of that ilk inside the Democratic Party, potentially making that blue seat right now up for grabs. Is my party headed the way that the Republican Party went a couple of years ago?
I think it could well be. The Democrats had one seat to defend in the country this cycle, which is why they had a shot at taking the Senate. But they've taken this Michigan seat now by electing this, socialist, or nominating the socialist. They've put it in real jeopardy. Mike Rogers, a former congressman, the Republican, he ran and lost narrowly a couple of years ago for the other Senate seat in Michigan. And El Sayed, I think, is an unfortunate choice of candidates for the Democrats. I go back to 2022. It was a midterm of Biden. It looked like it was going to be, everybody was talking about the big red wave. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And we went and nominated really bad candidates in some of these Senate races. Herschel Walker in Georgia, he lost. Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania, he lost to John Fetterman, of all people. And when you nominate bad candidates who lose, you really set your party back. So if the Democrats lose Michigan, I don't see a path for them to take the Senate. And in order to take the Senate, they've got to net 4 seats. And so you would look at Texas, which is a long shot but doable, Ohio, which is tough but doable, North Carolina, which I think they're going to win, and then Maine, who knows? You've had the Graham Plattner escapade up there, and he's been replaced. And so, I don't see another seat for the Democrats. So if they lose Michigan, the GOP probably retains the Senate.
Yeah, interesting, though. There is a pushback coming from Democrats against this progressive movement. And I would argue when President Trump was putting his finger on the scale for Herschel Walker and the extremist MAGA types, there really wasn't pushback from the establishment Republican Party. But we shall see how that all shakes out. Some breaking news overnight, John, as Lisa Murkowski, the senator from Alaska, announces that she will oppose acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination, essentially making that a 50-50 vote now as it comes through the United States Senate. Is there finally some backbone emerging against Donald Trump inside the Republican Party?
We'll see. I mean, Cornyn and Tillis have already acquiesced to Todd Blanche in committee, so those votes are gone. McConnell is not around, and so it's going to be tricky. I think all eyes kind of turn to Susan Collins, who's in a tough re-election battle, to see what she does, although it's a difference without a distinction. If he doesn't get confirmed, Blanche is going to stay on as the acting Attorney General, and there's not much of a difference there. And the concern, I think, is that once he's there, they're going to permanently enact this January 6th fund, $1.8 billion, and also the agreement that the IRS will never again investigate Donald Trump or his family or his business, which I think is the more odious of those two realities.
Yeah, a real head scratcher there. Okay, got one more question for you. You're going to officiate a wedding. Regular listeners of Hancock and Kelly know that you preach quite often. A man of faith. Is this the first wedding that you've officiated, and do you have your homily together?
Homily's done, and I did his brother's wedding about 16 months ago here in Kansas City. So they've got a cheap date to do the wedding vows.
Well, if I ever get married, you can officiate my wedding. Safe to say you won't have any work there.
If you ever get married, you'll have to pull out the smelling salts for me.
He's John Hancock. I'm Michael Kelly. We'll be back after this on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett. I'm a board-certified master arborist, and I've been caring for St. Louis trees for over 25 years. Today, I'm going to help you choose a tree care contractor. Here's how it's done, so pay close attention. First, call everyone you know who has ever done any type of outdoor work, including that cousin that used to sleep on your couch. Leave them all messages and wait around to see if they call back. Here's a hint, they won't. Now, post to all your social media that you are looking for recommendations for a good tree service. Now beware, because there will be hundreds of different recommendations. So you need to carefully go through each one, checking that they have the proper insurance, background checks, and even the slightest idea of what they're doing. Schedule a bunch of appointments, and when nobody shows up, get really frustrated and put the whole project off for another year. Or you could just call Timberline Professional Tree Care. 636-479-7475. Or visit us online at stltreecare.com.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Let's get a check on those roads with Captain Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're doing all right. It's been a pretty easy-going Friday's morning so far, Michael. This traffic reports the service of I-3 broadband. In fact, the only place we've got any interstate issues is on the Illinois side. It's getting better, but westbound 64 is still slow from 25th Street to the 70 split, and then just busy approaching the Poplar. And eastbound 5570, you've got roadwork slowdown running from 203 all the way into Black Lane. On the Missouri side, seeing some backed up traffic on Telegraph, Yeager up through Pottle. It looks like westbound Highway 30 west of 270, headed out to West Watson's kind of heavy. Eastbound Manchester, that area around Sulphur Spring and the construction zone there before you get to 141 looks kind of busy as well. But otherwise, like I said, these interstates have been very quiet so far this morning. Summer celebrations are here, and i3 Broadband keeps you connected. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 1-866-806-5485 to upgrade today, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, humid and warmer for today. We'll have intervals of clouds and sunshine. There'll also be a thunderstorm in parts of the area with a high right around 90. Partly cloudy and humid with a low of 71 tonight, then partly sunny, very warm and humid, high 90 tomorrow, headed up to 95 with sun and some clouds on Sunday. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I have been involved in politics my entire life, ever since getting out of college, and I was always the young guy in the room. And now as I run campaigns, I have lots of young people that work with me. Now, I'm only 51 years old. When I say young people, lots of kids that are like just out of college or still in college that are working on campaigns. So over the last couple of weeks, as we've slid towards the primary, I've gotten to learn some new lingo that I thought may be helpful for a lot of you out there when you're hanging out with your kids, or you just want to be a little bit more fashionable in your vocabulary. And a couple of words I picked up that are of interest is a word called based. Now, you're probably thinking, what do you mean, based? Like you baste a turkey? No, based, B-A-S-E-D. And based means if I were to say, I think KMOX is the greatest radio station on the planet, you would respond based, which means totally right, spot on. Had no clue that was what it meant. Had these young people that were walking around, I would say really insightful things, and they would say based to me, and I'd scratch my head like, what in the world are these kids talking about? So another word I picked up, your kids are going to love this if you use this on them tonight at the dinner table. If you hear something that's absolute garbage, nonsense, not true, you'd say, that's cap. Cap, like as in what you would put on your head at a ball game. And so if you were to say to me, I think Donald Trump is the greatest president to ever be in the United States, you would say, cap, dude, just cap, which means filthy nonsense, not true. So that's my public service for you all from this year's political campaign. The two words of based and cap, we have now officially ruined them for the younger generation.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Let's get a check on the Bloomberg Business Report, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriato Elder Law Firm Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Some green on the screen in the early going on Wall Street today after the latest jobs report showed the economy losing jobs instead of gaining, giving some investors the impression the Fed could be a little more tempted to cut interest rates, or at least not to raise them. Watch for a new weird-looking device from OpenAI next year. Sources say its first consumer device looks like a donut and will probably set you back about $300. It's a smart speaker designed to be easy to carry around. It'll have speaker grills, microphones, and lights to demonstrate when it's listening. Coolcations are the new thing. Southern Europe, too hot for sun seekers, making places like Norway more popular instead. And $10 cashback deals are this summer's hottest free money hack. Digital wallet company Pays, backed by big banks, offering $10 statement credits each time you spend $10 or more at retailers like Dunkin', Domino's, StubHub, United Airlines, and Sephora. The promotion ends September 10. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
How to cope with such a diagnosis that can be very supportive for you through your journey of cancer. And additionally, we have social workers as well. So we're very fortunate at Siteman Cancer Center to have such a in-depth team to take care of you as you embark on this, hard time in your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Taking care of your health shouldn't feel complicated. That's why we created NeoVitan to make nutrition easy. Our doctor-formulated vitamins are designed for real life and delivered straight to your door with our monthly subscription. No guesswork, no running out. Just clean, high-quality supplements manufactured in the USA using the finest domestic and international ingredients. Subscribe today at neovitan.com and take one simple step toward better daily nutrition. Visit neovitan.com and start making nutrition easy today.
I've noticed over the last 15 years, no, let's just say 10 years, how astronomical the prices to heat and cooler homes are for the equipment. Because there was a time when you would call me and it was affordable. If you have a house and you want air conditioning and you just want it to cool your house and you want to heat your house, I have a system that I made a special buy on that will do just that and save you money. Common sense will tell you if you just replace your old, and I'm talking 15, 20, 25, 30, 35-year-old system with a new system, you're going to save big dollars. If you're interested in that, call me. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Again, it's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. God bless.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Here comes Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've been a great run all morning long, Michael. The only issues we have are on the Illinois side as far as interstate stuff goes, and westbound 64 continues to improve. It's just a little slow now, westbound 64, Route 3 onto the Poplar, eastbound 64, past Route 3 to Barack Obama Avenue, a little busy, and on the run on 5570 eastbound, you've got slow traffic east of 203 all the way into Black Lane, so it's just before you get to 255, but that is the only interstate issue we have on either side of the river, so those delays aside, everything else looks great on the highways. I'm Roger Brand at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
CherryCounty.com.
And happy Friday, John Hancock.
Yeah, good to be with you, buddy. And I am very excited right now because we are being joined by Chris Barnes. He's a member of the Australian Pink Floyd band, and they are going to be in St. Louis on Sunday, August the 23rd at the Factory. Chris Burns, welcome to St. Louis. You are going to love the Factory as a venue.
Oh yeah, we've played it many times. It's a great venue. I'm very pleased that we're coming back.
Yeah, I am too. And you guys have been around for a while.
Yeah, I mean the band began back in 1988, but even 10 years in, I still feel like a new boy.
Yeah, and this time coming through, you're having the 2026 Happiest Days of Our Lives tour. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to hear.
So it's a greatest hits tour this year. We're not focusing on one particular album, as there's no anniversaries this year. So we're playing everything from the Syd Barrett era right through the 70s, all the big albums, Dark Side, Wish You Were Here, Animals, The Wall, then through into the 80s and 90s when it was the David Gilmour-led period with, Momentary Lapse of Reason and Division Bell. So whatever era of Pink Floyd you're into, we've got you covered.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I plan on attending that concert, and I hope many of you folks out there will as well. Pink Floyd, known obviously for their phenomenal music, but also for their live performances, the light shows and the lasers and all of the ambiance that are created. Do you folks from Australia do the same thing?
We certainly do, yeah. That is the sort of MO, is that we replicate a Pink Floyd concert with, as you say, big light show, the screen films on the circle screen, the lasers, inflatables. So it's basically giving people a chance to experience something that happened back in the day.
Anything uniquely Australian about the show?
There may be a 26-foot inflatable kangaroo, Skippy, but it's not my place to say when she appears in the set, but she does appear, and 26, that's always a big surprise.
26 feet. Wow.
Yeah, very demanding, Skippy, very demanding.
What is it about Pink Floyd that's so special?
I just think their music fits in its own category, really. They're not, they get classed as classic rock or prog rock, but they're more than that. They sort of fit into their own box, really. And within the catalogue, there's so many different styles of music. There's the space rock stuff, there's some country style things, there's big stadium rock tunes, there's big instrumental jams. There's basically something for everybody in the Floyd catalogue. It's it's a broad church.
And Pink influenced so many other artists in all of those genres. They really have left an indelible footprint on popular music in the West.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. One of the most iconic bands of all time, definitely.
So you are one of the singers in the Australian Pink Floyd ensemble. Are you David Gilmour, Sid Bennett, or are you Roger Waters, or are you a combination of all?
I kind of cover all of it, really, depending on what the set list dictates, really. Yeah, a bit of Roger Waters, a bit of David Gilmour, Syd Barrett, Rick Wright if needed. And there's myself, there's Ricky, our bass player. He does some of the stuff. And then if we need a third harmony vocal, Dave, one of the guitar players, he'll join in. So it just depends on what the set list dictates and which song suits whoever's voice, really. It's just a case of whoever fits the bill.
A lot of the harmonics, vocal harmonics of Pink Floyd are exceptional. And how difficult is this music to perform?
Very difficult, actually. Yeah, it's not just kind of turn up, plug in, and do it. There's lots of work goes in to your practice before you even get in a rehearsal room together and work on new material. And then obviously, the tour takes up 7 months of the year, and you're out there working at it constantly, and everybody is a big Pink Floyd fan first and foremost, so that really helps what you bring to the table, because this stuff's kind of in your blood and you know it inside and out, and that really, really helps when we're trying out something new.
I would have to imagine that you guys, the Australian Pink Floyd, have got to be one of the longest tenured tribute bands. Can you think of anyone else that's done what you've done for as long as you've done it?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I think back in the 70s there was a Beatles sort of stage, theatre production that was going on, but it wasn't a tribute band as such. So the Aussie Floyd forming 38 years ago, probably they were first out of the gate, I would say. There's those guys and what were they? The Bootleg Beatles. They've been around a long time as well. But again, I think they formed off the back of a musical production, I seem to remember. But I guess the Aussie Floyd are kind of unique, really. They sort of broke new ground in the tribute world.
Well, and the musicianship of the thing, and I've listened to recordings of your work, and it's Pink Floyd, and the musicianship involved is absolutely incredible, very intricate. It's got to be. How do you guys practice quite a bit?
Well, as I said earlier, we sort of you do a lot of work on your own before you even get in a rehearsal room, and even on tour, we in a way we're not a band as such. We're more like professors in a laboratory that get you're working on the guitar sounds and the keyboard sounds. There's this constant strive for perfection, which if you can't stand there and be blasé and go, yeah, we're great, listen to us, we're brilliant, because that would be foolish. You're constantly looking to, nail that next bit. And even as a vocalist, I re-listened to the original and just double check if that word's got, when he says, does he say water or does he say water? Things like that. Because you sometimes slip into your own way of singing maybe, and also for the guitarist, they might I was bending that note, I sounded like Brian May, not David Gilmour. That's a line that I've heard used from time to time. And you do have to constantly go back to the source material and make sure you're nailing this, because no one wants to listen to someone else's interpretation. They want to listen to because our blueprint is to play it like the album.
Yeah, and that you do. And folks, on Sunday, August the 23rd, at the Factory, you can hear our friend Chris Barnes and the Australian Pink Floyd show. It will be a magnificent evening with a 26-foot floating kangaroo. You can't beat that. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us. And when we come back, we'll get into a little politics here on Hancock and Kelly on KMOX.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration. Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Built on a century, focused on today. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's supposed to be like stupid hot again this weekend, like, back up into the high 90s, where they say the real field temperature is going to be up over 100 degrees. How is it that the real temperature and the real field temperature are something different? It makes no sense to me. Hey, there's Matt Pajeski. How's it going, PJ?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Do they call you PJ on the Chris and Amy show, or is it just Matt?
Just you and Hancock.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Well, my last name is Pajeski, and I guess the P and the J are the most prominent.
Was it Hancock
consonants.
who came up with it?
Yeah, I think so.
It was when we did Late Night with Hancock and Kelly, right?
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was so much fun doing those Monday nights with you. I really miss those. I know you miss coming into work at 8 o'clock at night too. So
I remember how tired. You don't realize how exhausted you would be, and then Monday Night Football would be on.
Yeah.
And we'd be there talking about sheets or, washing your towels or something. And what are we doing here?
I liked it because it was 2 hours of shenanigans pretty much. It wasn't a lot of politics. It was just pure fun.
Yeah. Speaking of pure fun, so, I've been working on these campaigns. And so come Wednesday morning, you go from driving 100 miles an hour to, elections are over. What do I do now?
Yeah.
So I had some time on my hands. So, of course, I get on the computer and I'm like, I got to go see this movie everybody's talking about with Matt Damon. What's it called?
The Odyssey.
The Odyssey.
What's it called?
Yeah, right. And so, and they say you got to go see it at the IMAX because they've made such a big deal about it. Well, the only IMAX I know about is the one at the St. Louis Science Center. But there's also one down South County at the Ronnie's.
Yes.
Theater.
That Science Center, that's I think they call it OmniMax, where it's almost like the Sphere in Vegas, where it almost surrounds you. I don't know if they put real movies on that or not, but yeah, you should go see it at Ronnie's in IMAX.
Right. And so that's what I did. I get on the computer and I'm looking to see okay, it's Wednesday. I'm going to go, well, it's completely sold out. And, where you can reserve seats like you're going to the Cardinal game.
Right.
And so then I started looking, okay, it's going to be this weekend. I ought to go see it at the OmniMax. And the reality is that if I want to go see it in the OmniMax, I've got to go several weeks in advance. Well, I can't make a commitment to several weeks from now,
much less tomorrow.
Yeah, much less tomorrow or almost anything in my life.
Yeah.
And you said you went and saw it. Did you see it on the OmniMax or did you see it at the just a regular theater?
I saw it. I still don't fully understand the technology. I saw it on a 70 millimeter theater or 70 millimeter film, which is, I think it's a huge, HD screen, but I don't think it was technically IMAX. So I guess I missed out on some of the full experience, but
is it necessary?
I think it's for the purists, it maybe would be, but I don't think so. I'm an average movie enjoyer. I love going to the theater. I thought it was one of the greatest movies ever.
Really?
Just from seeing it on a regular movie screen. I didn't see it in the full IMAX.
Is it embarrassing to say I don't even know the story of the Odyssey? Do I need to know the story before I go in there?
You don't need to, but you should be embarrassed.
Did you read it in high school?
Yeah. There's the Odyssey and the Iliad.
Yeah, the Iliad and the Odyssey,
I
right?
can't remember which one I read.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know the Trojan horse. You know the story. You know the legend of it.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But you don't need to be read up on it or anything.
So 3 hours. I can't sit. That's a commitment.
It flew by.
Yeah, really.
3 hours well spent.
There wasn't a couple of times that you looked at your watch thinking, how much longer is this going to go on?
No. I mean, when you're sitting through a 3 hour movie, especially a Christopher Nolan movie, he's the director. He did Oppenheimer too. These are mega productions, 3 hours long. You just have to be okay with the feeling that, when I have to use the restroom, I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna feel bad about missing out on something. I'm not gonna make myself miserable for 3 hours. So get up when you need to. Just have that sort of agreement with yourself. And those 3 hours flew by. I loved it up until the final minute of the movie. If it went a little bit longer, I wouldn't have been mad either. I loved it so much. It's that good.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah.
So I should not wait for this to come out on my big screen at my house. You've been to my house. I got a big screen.
Yeah, that is a big screen, but you should watch it on an even bigger screen at the theater.
All right. Do you stream?
Not really.
Oh, so Ted Lasso, are you familiar?
I'm familiar, have not.
You've never seen an episode of Ted Lasso?
No.
So Ted Lasso is some happy stuff. You know what I mean? It's good. I watched the first episode of the new season. So this is season 4.
Okay.
And to be quite honest with you, it's kind of a love letter to Kansas City. It's got a lot of Kansas City stuff into it. And so it's really sweet. But it also aggravated me because I'm like, really? Kansas City is the center of the world these days? Yeah. That's where Taylor Swift, that's where the Chiefs are. That's where, everybody's focus. All the cool stuff's happening in Kansas City now. It really sucks that Kansas City's the,
And what do we get? We get DTF St. Louis. That's what we get.
But we used to have all that stuff. We had Nelly. We had the Final Four. We had the Rams. And now these bums over in Kansas City are getting it.
Still have the Cardinals. They can't take that away from us.
That's Matt Pajeski. He's going to stick around and produce the Chris and Amy show. And boy, what a task that must be.
Tough.
I'm Michael Kelly. Everybody have a good weekend. I'm going to stick around. We'll talk with Chris and Amy after this on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.